very atypical streaming format. Let me get Task Manager off the screen here so you guys don't see a whole ton of clutter. Great. Awesome. I didn't have time to find like a PBS or fucking wait a minute. PBS NewsHour? Yes, thank you. Public broadcast thing that isn't gonna fucking copyright strike me. Also, shut up, whoever this guy is. Nice. Hold on, I should actually hmm. How do I want to do this? Maybe like no. Probably like this. There we go. Okay. Trump's address begins at 9 p.m. ET. Came live exactly when I forgot you were streaming today. Nice. How's it going, Gotron? I decided ultimately not to play Mario Kart during this. I know a shocking turn of events, but I actually think that this speech is going to demand my full attention, and I mean like full attention. You know, I think like if I'm playing Mario Kart, I'm liable to get really tired really quick, and I might miss some stuff, which I don't want to happen. But this is PBS NewsHour. Here, let's see. Maybe C-SPAN is showing us some stuff. Let's go to C-SPAN. I know C-SPAN's not going to copyright me because this is like public broadcast media. Today's been that day, hasn't it? Yeah, it has been. The fucking tariffs came down this morning, and then now like Trump is gonna address Congress. It's basically the State of the Union, but they're not calling it the State of the Union. Because usually the first one that they do isn't called the State of the Union for some reason. There's this weird like American government tradition. The Call of Duty game thing? What Call of Duty? Oh, the fucking Jonathan Irons from Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. What a week. Astroflick, welcome back. It has been a while. Yeah, what a week, huh? Captain, it's Tuesday. That's probably how we all feel right now. It's been a while. Good to see you back. It's the beginning of the end of happiness. Yeah, kind of. This is really like this is really a moment where we like, and when I say we, I mean like America had a number of routes to take. We picked all the fucking worst ones, and now like suffering will be our teacher. Like not much we can do about this. Oh, hey, look who else is live, huh? All right, theater mode. Get him out of here. I'm the cooler leftist live streamer, honestly. But yeah, this is
that thought for 2 seconds, Jeff.
Okay, they're just doing some warm up commentary. I was trying to get off the internet for a while, plus the election depressed me about politics, so that's mainly why I haven't been here in a long time. Well, I'm glad that you took a mental health break, you know, insofar as it was possible to do so. I congratulate you on that decision. Yeah, things are gonna get bad. I talked about the tariffs earlier today. But the long and the short of it is that we are about to get like kind of Great Depression level economic depression. It's gonna be like pretty bad. Hopefully in the face of that we'll just like not despair and instead be like, all right, shit, I guess I'm just gonna take it on the chin. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? The reason the reason I think we need to remind ourselves, the reason that politics gets to us so much is because we want to live, and we have a lot to live for, presumably, and so when politics takes a turn for the worse, we feel that emotionally, because it's like, no, life is going to get harder, but the underlying understanding is that I'm going to live anyways. Yeah, be like anime characters. Don't give up in the face of adversity. It's just what these look at this. Ooh, there are many things that I want to say about this man that could get me banned from Twitch and YouTube. Yeah, just become the main character. Yeah, be the main character in your own life. A lot of things I want to say about that guy right there. But I will reserve the comments that are maybe a little bit too spicy, and instead just say that he's a 4chan Nazi, which I don't think is a super controversial thing to say. Oh, look, it's Nancy Mace. Remember our attack system? True. Yeah. Every time I look at Nancy Mace, I can only ever think of, well, obviously I'm reminded of her crashing out every fucking 10 minutes over trans women or something. But I'm also reminded of the fucking Kyle Kalinske tweet, banger post, by the way, and like about her. That's a lot of beans, you nasty ass bitch. It just like, wow, you're gross, dumbass. Is just really funny. I meant attacking systems. Yes, okay, yeah, that's right. We're neither getting Franco's Spain or FDR's New Dealism, and that scares me. Or we are either getting Franco's Spain or FDR New Dealism, and that scares me. I mean, eventually, not right now. Yeah, that is basically like that is the eventual road that we're gonna go down as a result of, like, the Great Depression hitting, or another Great Depression hitting. Is either you get FDR or you get, like, I don't know, something else. I actually don't think that it would be like a Francoist type of thing to emerge. Precisely because the far right is an ideology of capital and it engineers the crisis. It's impossible for the far right in its current state, or in a state like several years down the line, to emerge as the savior of the country or the savior of the world from this crisis, to be like a populist voice, because that's what they're trying to do right now. But no crisis exists. Like, the fascists have to orchestrate this grand narrative of a crisis, but that includes when we're not in times of crisis. We can't not be in crisis for the fascists, so they'll invent a crisis to campaign on, and then when they get in power, they create a crisis for real. But that's the moment when they try to come in and say, see, look, we've solved the crisis. But there's a severe dissonance there. There's a gap between what they're saying and what the real world reflects, and what people's lives reflect. And on a certain level, that's unavoidable. And so this might be optimistic of me to say, but I think whatever we get, it's going to be better than what we get right now. It's just going to take some time. Bernie Sanders. Reminds me of a book. The book implies that fascists are competent. Yeah, fascists at a fundamental level are incompetent. No system can survive these two schmucks right here. Like, you see these guys being in charge of any fucking system in the world. Doesn't matter if it's feudalism or socialism or capitalism or whatever the fuck. That system's gonna collapse as fuck, and something else is gonna have to take its place. Talk about, like, the artificial conflicts. Oh, okay. If there actually is a crisis, they're going to fix it and create 5 more in the process. True. So bad you think this is part of the show, The Boys parody. Yeah, this is, like, legitimately, sometimes shit like this makes The Boys look mild by comparison. There are plenty of shows and media out there that will,
Yes, he
see,
gaggled twice.
okay, they're not talking about anything important. There are shows that will, like, attempt to do commentary on like the state of society, the, like, anti-capitalist media is a thing, but it's like, it's almost like they can never go far enough. Like any degree of self-caricature and self-parody, like over the top, just ridiculous, twirling the mustache, cartoon villain shit. Holy shit, Matt Walsh is there. So is Ben Shapiro. Well, I mean, these fuckers are all rich, so. Is that Riley Gaines? All the fucking pedophiles got a front row seat to this. I see Warren is there. There are a lot of Democrats that aren't showing up for this. But like, yeah, the any over the top caricature just like isn't enough because they're worse than that in real life, you know? Like the far right. Don't you know they're all part of the deep state far right pipeline? Yeah, well, I know that. I know that the reason that Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh and Riley Gaines are there is because they're all three of them are right-wing grifters from different stages of the right-wing grift pipeline. Ben Shapiro being like the 2010s stage, Matt Walsh being like the late 2010s to early 2020s stage, and Riley Gaines being the now every right-wing grift is just to fucking screech about trans people. You know, they're like three different they mark three different periods of time in that process, and they're being an integral part of that pipeline means that they have business connections to other like right-wing grifters, moguls, and whatever. So they like at the fucking flight out to DC. Who's Riley Gaines? She was a fucking like failed athlete or something. I don't even remember what sport she was an athlete of. She lost to a trans woman, El Bozo, and then she made her entire fucking identity complaining about having lost to a trans woman, and started just basically morphed into every other right winger on the planet. There's the most detestable fuck in the Democratic Party. I almost have more disdain and hatred for him than I do for these guys. Womp womp. Yeah, certified womp womp moment. Common feature of these conservatives is being a failure at something. Well, it's true. Oh my god. They just fail upwards. Riley Gaines failed upwards. Hakeem Jeffries failed upwards as well. There's a lot of that in establishment politics and the neoliberal, from neoliberalism over to fascism. There's a lot of failing upwards that happens, presumably because that's where all the money is. And failing upwards is a very like you kind of already have the money and connections sort of thing. Oh, he's high. He's got to be on something probably. Maybe. I don't know. The way he was spaced out there looked really goofy. Yeah, a lot of Democrats opted not to show up. Yeah, do the thing, do the salute for the fans. Looks like an alien. He does. He really does. A lot of it is really convenient that all of the like most evil fucks on the planet look like inhuman, evil, like lizard monsters. Like extremely convenient for the point that I would make about like billionaires being the fucking scourge of society. Yeah, for the people. Give the people what they want. Elon, do the Nazi salute. What are we doing here? It's the AOC today. I know that there are a lot of Democrats that decided not to show up to this, which I think is the right decision. My representative is actually among them, so cool stuff to him. My mom and I were talking about this earlier, and she brought up brought up something that I thought was a very pertinent point. Don Beyer, particularly, he's my representative, used to own a Volvo dealership. He's literally a car salesman. He owned not the salesman per se, but like he owned a car dealership. And so he has business connections in this area specifically, in the area where I live, where he lives, where his like regional office is. And so there's probably a lot of pressure on him, not just from the people that actually vote for him, that is to say the working class of Northern Virginia, but also from businesses in the area that aren't part of that really, really small club. to provide some kind of pushback to Trump's agenda having revolved mostly around the tariffs, because even though small businesses, are still an arm of the bourgeoisie, they are not in that super upper echelon that will benefit from the tariffs. Like, small businesses in the area will directly be harmed by this because they'll have to pay higher prices, and because consumers are not going to have as much money to buy stuff there, and, you know, wages are probably going to stagnate and even drop. It's not lost to me that white supremacy is at the White House. I mean, yeah, you know, channeling my inner Maoism, that America Cacao was founded upon white supremacist uh, aims, in large part with expansionism and genocide of the Native Americans in mind, and stuff like that. And of course, I joke every time I channel the Maoists, I have to say America Cacao because it's funny. But it is true that, like, yeah, that's kind of a big part of the United States, is that white supremacist manifest destiny, whatever. And it's ironic that that project was pursued mostly through, like, physical geographical growth, which eventually can't persist any further. I honestly think the more socialist wing of Democrats will do well in the midterm primaries. I think I agree. Know a lot of neoliberals, Clintonites, who are pissed that the Democrats are appeasing Trump and, by extension, Putin. Yeah, we've talked about this a little bit. Mr. Reschenthaler. Okay, it seems like they're starting. I've talked about this a little bit, that the institutional liberals, like the Democratic politicians here, can be, like, really, really spineless fucks and will still adhere to that, like, Clintonite agenda of tweaks around the margins, no meaningful change. But a lot of, like, regular ass liberal voters, like regular just members of society out there, are getting pretty damn pissed and are ready to move to the left. How many states did it take to take down America without nukes on both sides? I don't know. Probably, like, all of them. I mean, America's not really going to be involved in a conventional military conflict. Yeah, I know what you meant, like nation states. No, I mean, I don't think that's how the conflict is going to manifest. I think, and see what you're getting at. You know how Metal Gear works? If nukes aren't involved, it's going to be like Metal Gear. There's just going to be fucking private military contractors everywhere. But otherwise, Europe is actually starting to develop. They're trying to develop their own nuclear umbrella. France actually has nukes. So that Europe is trying to develop that so they don't have to rely on the United States alone for security guarantees. And they're trying to, like, rebuild militarily. But honestly, I don't know what the United States is going to do on that front. But I doubt it's going to be like, great, let's just invade Canada. And even if that were the case, I think a lot of the military would actually be like, this is probably a dumb idea. I at this stage, I genuinely don't think the military would be willing to just, on a dime, historically speaking, invade our two neighbors that have been, like, we've been allies with for, like, a long fucking time. And that's also why this was something that I was going to talk about but didn't find the time because of so much other shit happening. This is why Trump is currently trying to fire a bunch of military brass. He has to do that first. They don't currently have the complete capture of the military in that way. The military is still invested in things generally being stable. And by stable, I mean, like, not a massive destabilizing, like, state-to-state conflict, you know? Like, they're still on that American century shit of, like, low-level stuff that doesn't really upset the order too much. Okay, it seems like there's just a bunch of chatter here. Even if the average liberal figures out what's happening, what can they do? Fascism controls democracy at this point. Not entirely. The state and local level is still very open to influence. insofar as like activists and stuff. But we've started to see what people are doing, right? Just going to those town halls and yelling a bunch is really significant politically speaking. You know, that's one thing that the liberals and conservatives are already doing to both Democrats and Republicans alike, is yelling at them at the town hall meetings. And then I think I pointed this out on another stream, that I think as economic circumstances worsen, people are going to try to like organize at a community level more than they have been. Got to attend a speech by Canada's ambassador to the UN and Minister of Foreign Affairs. They believe that states like Canada, Greenland, Mexico, EU, etc. should implement a policy of containment for the United States when the time comes. Yeah, and I think that's a good idea too. I think that's a good idea as well. Who's this? Do I care? I don't know if I care. I think those officials are just afraid of a zombie parade of actual people. Oh, like the political officials at those town halls? I mean, yeah. Oh, look at these fuckheads. Behold. Some of the people that fucking doomed democracy to die. Barrett and Kavanaugh at the very least. I don't know who that is. Even in fascist countries, protest is a really good form of political participation. Every government, whether fascist, liberal, socialist, like feudal, whatever the fuck, that's true, Scrotus. Every government, no matter how authoritarian, has to contend with the consent of the governed. They have to keep the people at least not very discontented, right? They're like, oh, giant group of people look scary. Yeah, kind of. And also at a like really, really basic level, at a certain point, if people are mad enough, there is a point where people are like, you know what? There's more of us than there are of you. We could just physically pick you up, throw you out of the building, and take over the government ourselves and put some people in charge that we do like. Some revolutions have manifested like this. The Euromaidan was actually a comparatively mild revolution relative to some other stuff that's happened. But like the revolution in Ukraine was literally like protesters went and just ran the president out of the palace, basically. People died and stuff like that. The police were called in to shoot people, but the president was like thrown out and fled to Russia. But they have technology. Yeah, so did lots of countries. What?
Very tight group. They're very close. They spend a lot of time around one another.
Yes, Astroflick, you're right. Authoritarian regimes are obsessed with legitimacy. It's why propaganda exists. Force of the government. If the force of the government worked, they wouldn't need propaganda. Yes, that is why that like the propagandizing from the right wing has been so insane and like so concentrated. They've tried so hard to legitimize Trump and his administration. You guys remember when well, I mean, for anybody that was here, when I was talking about how like a lot of news outlets were saying, oh, Trump has a mandate. Oh, you know, he won by so many votes. You know, the people want Donald Trump. And then like when the economic downturn started to show signs, they were like, don't worry, guys, this is normal. Don't panic. That's why. Because if they don't manage that panic, if they don't like try super hard to contain people and direct their political attention and sentiment certain ways, they're liable to just fucking get overthrown in a revolution, you know? Or there's otherwise likely to be civil unrest that threatens people in power. You know? And every news outlet is part of the is part of a propaganda apparatus. Propaganda is a valid tool of politics, right? Like we mostly see far right propaganda, and that's bad because the far right is bad. But propaganda for the left is cool because you know, usually the facts back it up and stuff like that, and it usually leans towards democracy. It's just there's a big like media apparatus, and there's a lot of ways that people try to direct each other's attention. Biden and Clinton beat Trump by more in the popular vote than Trump beat Harris by in 2024. Yeah, the election ended up actually being pretty close. I remember commenting on the election, and it was like, at the time I was looking at it, it was something like there was a 10 million vote gap between Trump and Harris, which was quite a lot. But I think when all was said and done, it was only like 1 million or 2 million, which isn't that much. You know, yeah, they were trying to, a lot of the news outlets, because they're captured by this same set of interests, they were trying to manufacture this narrative that Trump won by such a large mandate, so that basically he wouldn't face that much political opposition when he got into office. And the Democrats were complicit in this, and to an extent still are. There's been a growing rift in the Democratic Party between the centrists and the progressives. But, you know, you had people like Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries going on news outlets and, you know, talking down to their own activists like coalition, saying like, oh, well, what can we do? They control all three branches of government. Trump has a mandate, you know? So the Democrats have a messaging problem. Yeah, and, you know, we've talked about Democrats really, really like to avoid responsibility for their failures. Because, you know, sometimes they really do be acting just like managed opposition. At least the leadership. Lich. Absolute lich. They're like the child that broke the vase. True. Or they're like covering for the kid that broke the vase. Or something like that. I see there are some Democrats that have showed up in protest. What do we got here?
That's a lot of new members, and I'm not quite sure who that
There's Melania.
is. I think we've had pretty good batting record.
Yes,
80%, haven't we?
Oh, I think more than that.
And Melania.
They talk about baseball?
Hill yesterday as well.
Batting record?
Was that a surprise to you down at the White House that she came down? Here comes Mrs. Trump.
Pelosi was way better than Jeffries. At least she could whip up the party in opposition to Trump. You know what? Actually, yes. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Nancy Pelosi was a better Democratic Party leader than Hakeem Jeffries, which is horrifying to say because she suffers from most of the same failings that Hakeem Jeffries also fails from. She was really militant against progressives, but she ultimately at times recognized that, like, yeah, the Republicans are our opponents. And was like, I think, you know what? The big difference between them, Nancy Pelosi was willing to do things, whether I agreed with them or not, when the Democrats were out of power. And Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer have been really willing to just fucking throw their hands up and be like, well, we're out of power. We can't do anything. And Nancy Pelosi was even like that at times. But, you know, Jeffries, like, even more so. Behold, the absolute neocon shithead that came up with the phrase New American Century, that wanted America to be involved in, like, low-level conflicts around the world, sowing instability, and who is now, I think, the Secretary of State. Face, I'm not surprised, yeah.
And now the cabinet is coming in. Secretary of State Rubio.
Yeah, okay, he's Secretary of State.
We saw there as well, Attorney General.
Cannot take anyone seriously if they say I'm not biased, nor should you, because everybody is biased. Even computers are biased.
The Commerce Secretary, who we talked about a little bit earlier. RFK.
Because, you know, they take the biases that they're fed. If anybody says that they're not biased, they have a... They're interested. They think you're a moron. Is fundamentally what is going on there.
There's Senator Adam Schiff sitting with
Pete Hegseth, the guy that literally said, "I promise I will stop drinking if you make me Secretary of Defense," and then they fucking made him Secretary of Defense.
Lisa Blunt, Rochester.
Your logic will never have a goal.
From Illinois.
You're scared of having opinions challenged? Yeah, centrists are right-wingers who are too much of pussies to even own the fact that they're on the far right. You know, they just don't want the social, like, they don't want the social baggage that comes with being on the far right, so they're like, I'm a centrist. I just happen to agree with every single thing that the far right says, and happen to hate the far left. We just saw earlier Kristi Noem, which I think is the woman that shot her dog. She was she's the governor that
sort of odd to have something like this
shot a puppy or something.
So much we're paying
just for fun, I guess.
Some of the protests and so forth.
Scary having opinion challenge or people pretending to know about politics. Yeah.
It's not quite as glamorous.
There's no such thing as centrist hot take in America. That's true.
There's a lot more power.
I would simply say,
I think that's actually true.
Jason, Dick, that nobody in the world cares what you...
Centrism isn't real, but it can hurt you. We got to be close to Trump coming in here.
Took at least a half hour.
Yeah, most caring and empathetic elected Republican. Yeah, okay. And if you saw they're suffering from a severe case of Republican woman syndrome, where they fucking Republicans like because I'm assuming this has to be like an emergent property of how fucking weird the far right is about women, but all of their like relevant political figures over time just end up looking like a fucked up Barbie doll. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? You know, like the look that I'm thinking of? Kristi Noem kind of looks like this, like Laura Loomer as well. On this one video that tried to compare feminism to the Klan. So they liked feminism then. Right? The videos that compare feminism to like Nazis or the Klan are very confusing to me because you look at that and you can kind of assume the biases of the person like making the video are like, okay, they're trying to say that feminism is bad by associating it with something that people view to be bad. But they like the people that make those videos view the Klan positively. They have like a comparatively favorable opinion of the KKK and Nazis. So I don't think that they should compare feminism to those things because it's like there's like a contradiction there. They look like ventriloquist dolls because they're plastic surgery. What a miserable existence. Yeah, truthfully, I do genuinely think that the way that Republicans engage in that is sort of like a deprivation of agency for women. Like they are forced to or rather there's like an expectation of altering their appearance in such a way that they end up looking not good. And I don't necessarily have anything against like cosmetic surgery. That shit's all well and good. But, you know, instead of being an avenue of expression, it becomes, with the Republicans, it becomes an avenue of depriving people of the right to expression, you know? Looking at these Republicans make me think you can figure out which family has which political beliefs based on their characteristics. Honestly, yeah, I'm going to be real with you guys. Phrenology bros have never been so back. You know? Phrenology bros are eating good right now. Or if we want to be, like, more charitable with the way that we're calling this, Roald Dahl was cooking. When he said that, like, evil deeds will reflect on your face or whatever, the evil weighs on your soul and you look ugly to everybody if you're evil. But if you're, like, a good person, you could be conventionally very unattractive and everybody will look at you and be like, oh my god, what a sweet person. I want to be around them all the time, and looking at them just makes me feel good. You know? The Putin effect? Well, I mean... You know, funnily enough, I don't think Putin is that much of a victim of that, because he just kind of is plain looking. Like, he just looks pretty unremarkable. He looks a little bit like a potato, which is pretty funny. Yeah, it's like Palpatine. True, it literally is Astroflake. You know, you got me caught. They made phrenology woke, people. I don't know how they did it, but they managed to make every Nazi on the face of the earth just look fucking hideous. And then, you know, the little old grandma who said like, "Oh, I love my trans grandson. He's so he's so nice and he's always happy to visit me or something. And she's just like, you could practically see the halo above her head, you know? Giga Chad trans rights and wrongs supporting grandma versus the fucking virgin, ugly ass Nazi that believes trans people are degenerate. Oh, auto-corrected that? That's funny. Yeah, maybe that's why Luigi Mangione looks hot, because he did something super based. I'm joking. Twitch, for legal purposes, for the purposes of me not getting fucking nuked off the site. That's a joke. You know, we disavow. Regardless, it is true that the people yearn for Luigi Mangione. Not a moral statement, just a statement of fact. You could probably look at polling data to confirm those sentiments. Who's it? What is he?
Even as lawmakers publicly say we are okay with giving Trump the latitude on tariffs, certainly privately they're concerned.
Also,
they don't like them.
If the audio from the video is too loud or too quiet, please let me know.
Used to be his first. I would be surprised if he does not repeat that again in an ad lib. But
Sent the free Luigi me.
Tariffs are going to be a large part of this.
Yeah, I don't want to end up like Hassan, in parentheses, banned for 1 day. I'd probably get banned for longer. Hassan is a big figure on Twitch. You know, for 1 day, I was only the 999th largest lefty Twitch live streamer, as opposed to the 1000th largest Twitch live streamer. And what a day it was. I was not streaming on that day.
Is just how the Democrats are going to approach things that they feel are a winner for them. You know, whether it's something
similar name to my dad. Funny
Trump
enough,
does talk about tariffs. He does talk about like how great they are. We're seeing again, as Jasmine, the market does not like them. The Wall Street Journal editorial page doesn't like them.
I like this suit jacket.
You know, this is kind of across the board, and the economy.
I like the lighter colored suit jacket.
Came up as the #1 issue.
Even though my dad's a heavy conservative.
But
that's
he's
unfortunate.
Also go for some base issues, you know, like transgender, issues. How is that going to be? You know, how is that going to be presented? But how
here we go.
Oh,
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
Okay, here he comes. Our big orange boy himself. Sorry, I had to. Now that is an Avengers level threat. He's shaking hands. All right. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the Republicans actually didn't applaud when Joe Biden gave the State of the Union. At least once or twice, they didn't applaud when Biden walked in. The face of that woman, she looks so dead inside. Who, Melania? Because, yes, probably. Oh! Holding the sign saying this is not normal. Please welcome confused Fox News grandpa from Florida who doesn't know how tariffs work. That's true. You know what? It's entirely possible that Donald Trump actually does know how tariffs work, and is just is participating in the rug pull because he's one of the people that would benefit from it. Tariffs hurt everybody, but in so doing, they provide an opportunity for oligarchs to scoop up more of a share of the economy in the form of real estate, in the form of securities and other kinds of investments. Mostly in the form of real estate and also like shares of companies and stuff like that, because the stock market gets hit. And with the rug pull that Trump did on inauguration day, mind you, of his own crypto coin, it's possible that he's actually now wealthy enough to be part of that club of oligarchs who effectively wants to crash the economy because they will own a greater proportion of it on the other side of things. You know? That's where my mind goes to these days. But it is also possible Trump, not the, you know, not the smartest guy on a great many things, not the least of which being, you know, business. It's possible he also just doesn't know how it works, and you know, he's just a little bit interested in tariffs because it's like, it's great, it's different. I love tariffs, like President McKinley. Anybody remember this tariff package? They call it the Smoot-Hawley tariff. That's such a funny name. What a funny guy. Funny guy that must have been. Smoot-Hawley. I think it was two guys, actually. Experiment? Yeah, probably. Lifespan is short, so it barely matters. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's getting up there. And you can kind of hear it in the way he talks, too. Is he doesn't remember a whole lot. He's not entirely there. I guess that's why they've surrounded him with all these other oligarchs, because they're like, we want to make sure that we are getting our agenda through. The agenda of, like, consolidation, of, like, investing in all this AI shit, and you know, doing the housing market crash again, and upward consolidation and such and such. You know, it can't just be Trump in there. It's got to be Elon and Bezos and all the other CEOs and stuff. Me when I'm not in a cult. Did you guys see that? Marjorie Taylor Greene wearing the hat that said fucking Trump was right about everything. Me when I'm not a part of a cult. Imagine they make his dying request to make Elon Musk president. Sure, man. I was gonna say, like, my mind went to, like, I don't know if they can legally do that, because Vance is next in line, but, like, sure, fuck it, whatever. Law doesn't matter anymore. Although, even so, I think Vance being president, he would still just do whatever the fuck the oligarchs, like, wanted him to do. You know? Alright. Lauren Boebert. I saw that face on her. So says, what am I doing with my life? Yeah. Since the Constitution doesn't matter anymore, Democrats should just run Obama. Now, that's an idea. You know? Maybe they'll roll with it. Not entirely sure. Although I don't think Obama was a very good president, to be frank. I mean, they do need to, like, find somebody with the sauce. A large problem with the Democrats is that a lot of the party infrastructure is dedicated to suppressing anybody that has the sauce when they emerge. You know, like, if somebody has the sauce, get them out of here. You can't allow them in politics, deny them at every turn.
Thank you very much. Speaker Johnson.
You know?
Vice President Vance.
And that's why we think of people like Obama.
United States.
They let populism in, the Democrats. They would want to kill the rich. Yeah, true. I just said Obama because he's popular. I think as a president, I would even prefer Biden. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I totally get what you're saying there. Yeah, it is kind of bizarre that, like, Joe Biden was singularly pro-labor.
Members.
First president I can ever remember. I remember Bush.
Congress, thank you very much. And to my fellow
but I was really young.
Citizens, America is back.
He's just saying we're so back. America is back. The dollar is gonna be weaker than ever. You're never gonna believe it. They couldn't believe it. They said I couldn't do it. Punching bag of the right-wing social media cult. Yeah. He took that part of it relatively well. The biggest failure of Biden's presidency was obviously, like, the fucking the way he handled Gaza. And that person is banned. Got him.
The dawn of the golden age of America. From
Yeah,
that
true.
moment on,
National
it has
flag.
been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era
Action for action's sake. Got him.
of our country.
We have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years or 8
Leading
years.
Trump win?
And
Yeah.
we are just getting started.
Now that's fucking ominous. We're just getting started. The biggest economic crash you've ever seen in your lifetime, in your parents' lifetime, in your grandparents' lifetime. And we're just getting started, baby. They said I couldn't do it. They didn't think it was possible. And I did it anyway. Beautiful.
To report that America's momentum is back.
2026 we're getting we ended racism? Maybe.
Our confidence is back. And the American dream is surging bigger and better.
Yeah, technically, Astral Flick, he has done more than a lot of other presidents in his first 2 months. You know, it speaks to the nature of stuff that he's done is, you know, mostly taking a sledgehammer to government.
The likes of which the world has never witnessed and perhaps will never witness again. There's never been anything like it.
Superlatives, the classic.
The presidential election of November 5th.
After Trump's done, there will be no more presidents.
Like has not been seen in many decades.
No, there will be more presidents, I think.
Giving us an electoral college victory of 312 votes.
See, there we go. I talked about this, that the, like, it will be monarchy. Yeah, maybe functionally, but not necessarily in name. We see how the constituency reacts to overt mentions of monarchy.
Big numbers and won counties in our country.
Literally just Fox News. Yeah, he doesn't have as much of the sauce anymore. Oh, this guy. This guy's based. I forget what his name is. They're chanting USA. See, this is them trying to... What I wanted to mention here, them, like, mentioning, my margins of victory were so great, they were huge, humongous, is them trying to, like, manufacture the narrative that, like, oh, we have this giant mandate. We can do whatever we want. See, we're seeing that's not exactly true.
Almost completely red for Republican. Now, for the first time in modern history, more Americans believe that our country is headed in the right direction than the wrong direction. In fact, it's an astonishing record, 27-point swing, the most ever.
This goes without saying, but this is not even remotely true. Also, it is good to see the Democrats, like, interrupting and heckling and stuff, the ones that did show up. Unspoken... Your politician lie to the people? Yeah, true. Unspoken component of politics. You can just yell and interrupt.
Decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning.
Fuck your decorum. Yes! Yes! Yell more!
Willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the sergeant at arms to restore order to the joint session.
Do it. Do it. Force him to restore order to the session. Heckle so hard that they throw all the Democrats out of the room. So they can just fuck shit up. Yeah, it is good on the part of the Democrats that did show up. It would be good if they all just decided to do this. Though I have a feeling that sometimes, like with some of the inclinations of the Democrats that did show up, they might just sit down and shut up and take it, you know.
Take your seat, sir. Take your seat.
I hope he doesn't take his seat.
Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the sergeant at arms to restore order. Yes!
Good. Fucking make them do that. Make them throw you out of the people's house. Or not the people's house. It's like, people's office? Bernie's gonna enter with a gun. You know, Bernie is comparatively pretty pro-firearms. And he does live in Vermont. Bernie Sanders with the steel chair, by which I mean the AR-15. I don't know. Bernie Sanders might be like, carry a 38 or something. Bernie or a bus. That's true.
Members are directed
Who is that guy?
Uphold and maintain
I know his
the economy of the
face.
House. Mr.
Texas
President,
representative in
Over the past
Congress.
6 weeks,
He's a Democrat
I've
from
signed
Texas, I know that much.
100 executive orders and taken more than 400 executive actions, a record to restore common sense, safety, optimism, and wealth all across our wonderful
Al
land.
Green, that's who it is.
The people
Yep.
elected me to do the job, and I'm doing
Shout outs to Representative Al Green for going in there and making a scene. That's the good shit. And of course, the Democrats that didn't show up, also massive credit to them, because they're like, all right, what do we do about this? They're like going to their constituencies and shit, and having town halls and stuff.
Stated by many that the first month of our presidency, it's our presidency, is the most successful.
They're learning to protest finally. Jesus.
By many.
You can tell that kind of got to them too. Like you saw that JD Vance actually kind of started tweaking because there was a fucking
What makes it even more
black man standing up and shouting down the president,
two is,
and he like genuinely like started gesturing with the thumb like, get him out of here.
I don't know about that list, but we'll take it. Within hours of taking the oath of office, I declared a national emergency on our southern border, and I deployed the U.S. military and Border Patrol to repel the invasion of our country.
Yeah, bro declared a national emergency to basically do a photo op and spend fucking millions of dollars because of how much the like military outsources shit to private contractors and the private sector.
They heard my words and they chose
Shit-ass
not to
suit?
come. Much
The dreaded
less
triangle strikes again.
in comparison
Yeah,
to
burning
Biden,
tons of money
first president in
just to
American
get some Fox
history.
News clips.
There were hundreds of thousands of illegal crossings a month, and virtually all of them, including murderers, drug dealers, gang members, and people from mental
Bro, you can-
institutions and insane asylums
That's true. All of them were me, actually.
to our country.
I was every single one of them. He's not supposed to be talking about this. You know, the CIA is supposed to have this under wraps. You know, honestly, it's kind of concerning that he's disclosing this publicly. I thought we kept that shit in Area 51.
It's
not even remotely true. Goes without saying. You could really just say shit.
Devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire nations, or announce the answers to the greatest economy.
The
in
ability of
history,
mind control.
or the
Make Trump
safest
shit himself.
crime to the
He
lowest
might have already
levels
done
ever
that without
recorded.
mind
These
control.
people sitting right here
You
will
just say
not clap,
anything.
will not stand
I
and
mean, yeah, like
cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do it.
he's
No matter
just
what.
he's just like going up there and just being like, you know what, whatever, we did it, we fixed it, all of it, we did it already. It's good, mission accomplished. Like he's actually kind of doing a mission accomplished bit right now. Like especially if you're on the far right, you have the funding of capital. You just fucking say whatever you want. Gonna get into Congress, start calling the opposition fat. That's the spirit.
For just this
Wait, but you're
one
Canadian.
night,
You can't run
why
for
not
Congress.
join
This is
us
not
in
legal
celebrating
advice.
So many incredible wins for America. For the good of our nation.
Yeah.
Let's work
And part of the
together.
reason that the
Let's
Democrats
make
don't do that, they don't just
America
like start
great again.
calling the Republicans fat and ugly and stupid. Canadian Congress. Oh, okay. Yeah, do that. Is because like motherfuckers like Nancy Pelosi would actually get you in trouble with the party power structure. They would like censor you and fucking shut you out of the levers of power. The Democrats have largely been pacified by their own leadership because their own leadership is a bunch of centrist fucks. Well, you know, Clintonites.
Upon taking office, I imposed an immediate freeze on all federal hiring, a freeze on all new federal regulations.
I'm gonna
and a freeze
turn
on
this up a
all
little bit.
Foreign aid.
Democrat Party needs to take over. Honestly, not in its current state. We need to take over the party first, and then the party needs to feel, you know, afraid enough of progressives that they start
Canada's Green New scandal,
capitulating to us.
I withdrew
That's what I
from
meant.
the
Yeah, okay.
unfair Paris Climate
Then yes, I agree.
Accord, which was costing us trillions of dollars that other countries were not paying.
Hooray! We now get to watch Florida and all these other places sink into the ocean. In just 40 short days, I've killed the country.
UN Human Rights Council.
Nobody can... Wait, was he bragging about that? Hold up.
Biden's environmental restrictions that were
Let's rewind. Let's get that one again.
that other countries
Rip New
were
York?
not
Yeah.
paying. I withdrew from the corrupt World Health Organization.
Okay, there's that one. Impressive for the wrong reasons,
I
yeah.
also withdrew from the anti-American UN Human Rights Council.
Well, there you go. I'm gonna set this.
All of Biden's environmental restrictions that were making our country far less safe and totally unaffordable. And importantly, we ended the...
Can we clip this? Yeah, fucking clip that, somebody.
Electric vehicle mandate.
No more human rights.
Companies from economic
The people don't want human rights anymore. They don't want solutions to climate change anymore. They don't want
to unshackle
cures for diseases anymore.
that for every one
And
new
quite
regulation,
frankly,
10
I'm
old
prepared to give the
regulations
people
must
what
be
they want.
eliminated, just like I did in my very successful first day.
Sometimes you hear something so stupid you can't help but laugh. Yeah. It just straight up. We are no longer supporting human
We
rights.
set records on ending unnecessary rules and regulations like no other president.
Should put that on your
before. We ordered all
channel
federal
front page on
workers to
Twitch.
return to the office.
Fuck, I should,
They
shouldn't
will
I?
either show up for work in person or be
But
removed
without
from
editing,
the
hopefully
job.
it's not that bad. I'm sure it'll do fine.
And we've ended weaponized government where, as an example, a sitting president is allowed to viciously prosecute his political opponent, like me.
I probably can't look at that
How'd
until
work
later.
out? Not too good.
Always with the persecution complex. Like, seriously, listen to that. He has to bring up, even when he's like, oh, this fucking victory, you know, declaring victory in all things. It's like, and also, like, I'm such a victim of the opposition targeting me, even though we're in charge and all that. Literally, like, the most fucking powerful man on the planet. Well, allegedly.
Official language of the United States of America.
English being made the official language of the U.S. feels kind of neutral to me, because it's already basically like that, but I don't know. Democrat could definitely get close enough to assassinate him, just saying.
For a great president, William
Yeah, they wouldn't do that. They're not funny enough to do that. They're not enough in the cool zone to do that.
We've ended the tyranny of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion policies all across the entire federal...
Yeah, in Skyrim with mods, you know. You know, we'll have to check how many of them have modded Skyrim on their PC.
And our country will be woke no
Probably get body search
longer.
before. Yeah, probably. No longer woke. No more DEI. You won't have to worry
Whether
about.
you are a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer, or
You won't have to
air
worry about
traffic
black
control.
people in your jobs
should be
anymore.
hired and promoted
We're not going to be
based on
hiring black
skill
people.
and competence,
That's
not
what all
race
that
or
means.
gender. Very important.
Words of a man who literally ordered the firing of thousands of air traffic controllers and led to planes fucking falling out of the sky.
Based on merit, and the Supreme Court, in a brave and very powerful decision, has allowed us to do so.
Lib coded.
Thank you very much.
So brave, so powerful. Our liberal democratic institutions. Liberal fascism moment.
Of critical race theory from our public schools.
Camera went
They
straight to the
signed an
black
order
person.
making
What?
it the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
Fuck, I've been written out of the law. I mean, that was the objective, right? Oh, after he said woke. The camera operator may be cooking for that one. It's become appropriate to clap when the plane lands now? Yeah, true.
To ban men from playing in women's sports.
This was a fucking joke about conservatives, how little they cared about women's sports, and they, like, actually didn't want women to play sports because they just wanted women to be, like, submissive and breedable in the kitchen. That guy particularly wanted that.
High school athlete, one of the best, preparing for a future in college sports. But when her girls' volleyball match was invaded by a male, he smashed the ball so hard in Peyton's face, causing traumatic brain injury, partially paralyzing her right side and ending her athletic career. It was a shot like she's never seen before. She's never seen anything like it. Peyton is here tonight in the gallery, and Peyton, from now on, schools...
This is the latest, like, this is just high school... yeah, get... True. Get shit on. Great. Cool.
Traumatic brain injury. All federal funding. Kick the men off the girls' team, or they will lose all federal funding.
Okay. So, no more trans people in high school sports. Otherwise, you will not get any federal money, which is kind of redundant because they're going to get rid of the Department of Ed anyway. Still tough with the way they talk. They act like men insta-kill women. Yeah, and the way they treat trans women is not... They really don't treat trans women like they're men.
And if you really want to see numbers... Just take a look at what happened in the women's boxing, weightlifting, track and field, swimming, or cycling, where a male recently finished a long-distance race 5 hours and 14 minutes ahead of a woman.
Not even remotely true?
5 hours.
Again, I shouldn't have... I'm like... We all know this. He just fucking says anything. He just makes shit up.
We're not going to put up with it any longer.
Sports gets lots of body damage. Yeah, that's true. Fucking psycho stare.
What I have just described is only a small fraction of the common sense revolution.
3 instances involving high school athletes is the crux of the Republican platform nowadays. Fucking true.
And we will never go back.
Yeah, Republicans care a suspicious amount about generating excuses to look in underage girls' pants at their genitals and shit.
Our economy and get dramatic and immediate relief to working families.
Like they literally introduced in Congress.
Catastrophe and an inflation nightmare.
They literally like introduced in Congress. It didn't pass. Like a fucking forced genital inspection bill for like high school athletes. It was like K-12 athletes or something. It was fucking gross, dude. They're all pedos.
Their policies drove up energy prices, pushed up grocery costs, and drove the necessities of life out of reach.
Buddy, groceries were fine, but they're about to not be.
We suffered the worst inflation in 48 years, but perhaps even in the history of our country. They're not sure. As president, I'm fighting every day to reverse
eggs are fucking
make America affordable again.
Expensive. Yeah, they're getting worse. Like, grocery prices are getting worse literally as we speak. The tariffs happened today, and a lot of the tariffs were on agricultural and food products. That shit is like getting way more expensive. I was literally just going to mention that eggs are like $8 or $9 per half dozen now. In some places. In other places, more like $8 to $9 per dozen, which is more than double what it was like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. And the point of all Republican policies leads to either extreme wealth inequality or pedophilia. Yeah, that's basically the Republican Party.
And close more than 100 power plants. We are opening up many of those power plants right now.
It's negative 17. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I mean that's the far right, you know.
Seen anything like it. That's why on my first day in office I declared
we're going to drill, baby, drill. It'll be beautiful. You've never seen anything like it.
Many times we have more liquid gold under our feet than any nation.
All
on
these
earth.
communities
By far,
destroyed by
now,
hydraulic
fully authorized,
fracturing.
most
Drill,
quality
baby,
team
drill.
ever assembled.
You're not going to have any
No
more
beginning.
small town
It's called
America.
Drill, baby, drill.
There you go. You said the thing. Republicans are the supervillains that actually win. Yeah, because their opponent, they functionally don't really have opponents right now. Not at an institutional level.
Also working on a gigantic natural gas pipeline in Alaska, among the largest in the world, where Japan, South Korea, and other nations want to be our partner with investments of trillions of dollars each. There's never been anything like that one. It will be truly spectacular. It's all
Hydraulic
set to go.
fracturing is like one of the fucking
And later
worst
this
forms of
week, we will
energy
also
extraction.
take historic action to dramatically
It's bad.
expand production of critical
Zamir, is he
minerals
talking
and
faster?
rare
I had it set to
here in the
1.25 speed
USA.
to catch up, I think. So sometimes it'll look like he's talking faster because I speed it up. Because I'll like pause at certain points. Yeah, bro just wants to destroy the environment.
To further combat inflation, we will not only be reducing the cost of energy, but will be ending the flagrant
Demonstrably
waste of
false.
taxpayer dollars.
Fucking energy prices doubled in some states today. Like, I think I talked about this with New England. Energy prices literally doubled over the course of like 10 minutes after the tariffs came down.
I have created the brand new Department of Government Efficiency. GOG. Perhaps you've heard of it. Perhaps.
Yep. Oh boy. The engine of America's demise.
Which is headed by Elon Musk, who is in the gallery tonight.
Please do the Nazi salute. It would be so funny if he did the Nazis. Ah, okay, he didn't. How fucking funny would it be if he did the Nazi salute in front of Congress? Yeah.
Thank you, Elon. He's working very hard. He didn't need this.
Do it. He should do it. He should do it.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Everybody here, even this side, appreciates it, I believe.
See, he knows that, like,
Just listen to some of the appalling ways
if they fucking speak out, the Sergeant at Arms gonna remove them because of this fuck right here. And I mean, like, you know, upholding the decorum rules and shit. Decorum, what a fucking joke, right? Give me a parliament brawl. Give me some spicy shit, dude.
$45 million for diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarships in Burma.
45 million is fucking nothing. Do you have any idea how big the U.S. budget is? That is pennies.
Migrants. Nobody knows what that is.
Also, DEI is like, sounds scary. It's literally just like meritocratic hiring practices.
In the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of.
Yeah, no, they're never gonna touch the military
$60 million
budget.
for indigenous peoples and Afro-Colombian empowerment in Central America. $60 million. $8 million for making mice.
So far, all the things that he's talked about have added up to less than $1 billion combined, which is nothing.
$32 million for
I know it's all real, and it's all good, by the way.
operation in Moldova. $10 million
The more they
for
talk about
male
trans people and DEI, the older it will get with the median voter. I mean, probably.
$20 million for
I think the skyrocketing prices are about to be fucking a real shock to the chest, you know? Like a real slap in the face. Find it funny how they keep saying, I'm anti-good things? Yeah, true.
Headed up, and we know she's involved.
Folks' life was affordable. Workers were joining unions. It was
By a
disgusting.
woman named
I put a
Stacey
stop
Abrams.
to
Have
it.
you ever heard of her?
The tariffs, the big, beautiful tariffs,
A
they've tanked the
$3.5
American
million
economy.
consulting contract
The stock
for
market has never
language
dropped this
facial
hard in one day. I did that.
$1.5
I did that.
million for voter
And they're
confidence
circulating a
in
new
Liberia.
meme, a great meme.
$14
I'm
million
named
for
in this
social
meme.
cohesion
They call
in
it.
Mali. $59 million.
Okay, he's just listing shit. All of this is like gonna be single or double digit millions, which is like nothing. Anyways, as I was saying, they made this great new meme. They call it Trump take egg. It's beautiful, beautiful. Just 3 words: Trump take egg. One of them is me. Trump. That's me. I did that. I take egg.
$47 million for improving learning outcomes in Asia. Asia's doing very well with learning. don't know what we're doing. We should use it ourselves. And 101 million.
Damn, that's crazy. The United States spends money abroad to like fund other like good things so that society improves, not just in America but abroad, and that also eventually reverberates like back home as well. That's crazy. And we can do it for fucking pennies comparatively. But now he wants to get rid of that because it does good stuff. Like that's literally it. Go Tron. You are cooking. They're literally just anti-good things.
We appreciate it. We found hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud.
The hundreds of billions of dollars they're referring to is they now have an excuse to basically just cut Medicaid, and other like essential social benefits. All the fraud that they've like discovered has been like at most single digit or double digit millions, like he was just saying, and it has resulted in losing more money than the government has saved. The federal government's already pretty damn efficient. And of course, he also fired all the inspectors general, whose job it was to actually police that waste, fraud, and abuse. He fired all the people whose job it was, and then hired Elon Musk, the fucking clown.
Probable fraud in the Social Security program for our seniors.
Republicans have convinced me that Antichrist is real and it's them. Well, let's not get religious here. But yes, if the Antichrist were real, it would be somebody of one of these fucks right here. I don't know.
100 to 109 years old.
Joking? Yeah, I know you're joking. I'm trying to roll with the joke.
It lists 3.6 million people from ages 110 to 119. I don't know any of them. I know some people that are rather elderly.
Second coming is happening because Trump is president, obviously. Yeah, ain't you heard? The show's over. Party's over. Doomsday is coming. All the fucking insane preachers yelling on the street corner were right. God is coming to kill all of you for your sins or something. I don't know.
3.5 million people from ages 140.
So true, Mr. President. By the way, this has been, like... This is a much older Republican talking point. It has never been true. And funnily enough, it has to do always with undeserving recipients of Social Security that they need to cut off of the recipient like list or whatever. Never has to do with any of the private sector bloat. Yeah, shut up. It never has to do with any of like the private sector bloat that does exist on Medicare and Medicaid, and to a lesser degree Social Security. Social Security is mostly handled through the government directly. You'll notice they never point out any of that actual waste, fraud, and abuse. And of course, you'll notice that they fucking fired everybody, all the inspectors general, who are like the goddamn financial police, Cut all benefits for rich people because they can take care of themselves. Now you're talking. Yeah.
One person between the age of 240.
This is just a much more politically palatable version of like the welfare queens shtick, because they don't have to gesture at a type of person that could exist. See, they're gesturing at dead people. It's perfect.
But we're gonna find out where that money's going.
It's literally a crime without a perpetrator. I mean, it's a crime without perpetrator or victim because it doesn't fucking exist. But
lower car payments and grocery prices, protect our seniors, and put more money in the pockets of American families.
And we will do this by destroying the economy. It is actually like the stripping the copper wire out of the walls to sell. Or whatever the fuck. It's like so much of the essential structure, the skeleton of government is under attack, all because they can save a few like pennies on the dollar for it, and then everybody loses their job in the process, and their home, and their fucking benefits. This is fucking CEO dipshit. This is why we shouldn't treat government as a business. Yeah, businesses tend to be pretty fucking unstable. You know what the failure rate for businesses is? Do you want the government to fail as frequently as private enterprises do? No, you fucking don't. Nobody does.
Which goes on sale very, very soon. For $5 million, we will allow the most successful job-creating people from all over the world to buy a path to U.S. citizenship. It's like the
he said the quiet part.
Better and more sophisticated.
Buying U.S. citizenship. He's just selling U.S. citizenship.
They won't have to pay tax.
This is the great thing about Trump. He's incapable.
You wouldn't want to do that, but they have to pay tax, create jobs. They'll also be taking people out of colleges and paying for them so that we can.
This is one of the great things about Trump is that he's incapable of like disguising his language. He's incapable of papering over the rougher talking points. So he'll just say, "We've got these great new gold cards, and we're going to allow people from other countries, the most successful people from other countries, to pay for American citizenship."
Our country under the open border policy of these people, the Democrats, the Biden administration, the open border insane policies that you've allowed to destroy our
Top 10 things that weren't happening. Oh yeah, a reminder, by the way, that the Democrats pivoted to being anti-immigration under Joe Biden. It was like literally a 180-degree turnaround in like a year and a half, which was insane because the immigration was like the biggest debate issue in like 2016. Hillary Clinton, of all people, was very pro-immigration. And then Joe Biden just turned it all around. What? No, don't show me that. Give me this other shit. All right. I didn't mean to do that. Keep talking like this. Head's going to be on a pole. I hope so eventually. Allegorically, metaphorically. What I'm saying is there's got to be political consequences. I'm not actually endorsing the lynching of a U.S. president here.
Our deficits and held back America's potential in every possible way. The nation
nice save, thank you. I know that Twitch is probably giving me the stink eye for any of this.
Pages of regulations and debt. Approvals that should take 10 days to get instead take 10 years, 15 years, and even 20 years before you're rejected. Meanwhile, we have hundreds of thousands of federal workers who have not been showing up to work. My administration will reclaim power from this unaccountable bureaucracy, and we will restore true democracy
like this.
to America again.
True democracy is when we strip all the parts of society that are democratic and only leave intact the parts that are undemocratic. So true, bestie.
And any federal bureaucrat who resists this change will be removed from office immediately. Because we are draining the swamp. It's very simple. And the days of rule by unelected bureaucrats are over.
I can't believe I'm going to defend unelected bureaucrats here. But you actually fucking need, like, federal government workers. Right? Like, framing aside, you need government workers. And that shit should not be an elected position. Like, the folks that maintain the forests, the folks that maintain the roads and all the federal, like, infrastructure, the people that work in the Social Security offices.
My right.
You want to be electing those people?
Republican right, but my right here. I'm sure
Republicans hate workers. That's why they keep firing them. Yeah, true.
I don't believe the people.
That's why they privatized the Postal Service. The Postal Service used to be a part of the U.S. government. Now it's not anymore. Yeah, I'm starting to see why it was a good idea for a lot of Democrats to just not show up. Because, like, Al Green, massive fucking credit to Al Green for, like, shouting down Trump while he was speaking, but he got removed from the chamber. Now nobody else is willing to do that. So they're just kind of sitting there quietly. Looking at this stuff makes me think America's going to fall. I mean, we already have been, but yeah, like, that's what we're witnessing, fundamentally.
No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security benefits for our great seniors.
No tax on Social Security is probably a good thing, I think. like it could be, but all the no tax on tip stuff is just an excuse by like fucking it's not like it's just an excuse for employers to steal wages from their employees. If they make everybody like tip workers, then they don't have to pay taxes. They can write off the tips, and they don't have to pay wages either. You know?
And by the way, we're going to have growth in the auto industry like nobody's ever seen.
It's just a tax
Plants are
loophole for
opening up
the
all
fucking
over the
like
place. Deals are
restaurants
being
and
made.
whatever.
Never seen. That's a combination of the election win and tariffs.
Because then they can like the
that along with our other
tip labor is
policies will
infamous for like people getting their
allow
tips
our
stolen
auto
because it's kind of like an
industry to absolutely boom.
informal kind of
Speak to the
payment,
majors today,
you know?
all three, the top people, and they're so excited. In fact, already numerous car companies have announced that they will be building massive automobile plants in America, with Honda just announcing a new plant in Indiana, one of the largest anywhere in the world.
Companies love to announce shit. We'll see if any of that actually happens. Trying to make the Purge movie into reality. I mean, eventually that's where all right-wing politics leads, right? Killing large numbers of minorities. That was the big plot point of those movies, that the Purge was an excuse to kill black people, basically, or something like that.
November 5th, a date which will hopefully go down as one of the most important in the history.
A date which will live in infamy, you might even say? Nah. Keep in mind, he's just talking shit with the auto manufacturing. Buddy, he put tariffs on steel and aluminum, shit that you need to make a car.
And just as we did before, we will provide 100% expensing. It will be retroactive to January 20th, 2025. And it was one of the main reasons why our tax cuts were so successful in our first term, giving us the most successful
Is that a...
economy
Oh, no, he's got an
in the history of
earwig.
our
Okay,
country.
okay.
First term.
I was going to say, is that a hearing aid, or I think he's just got an earpiece? Average voter needs to learn the hard way? Yes. And that's probably what's going to happen.
Your product in America, however, under the Trump administration, you will pay a tariff, and in some cases, a rather large one. Other countries have used tariffs against us for decades, and now it's our turn to start using them against those other countries.
Dude, it's so insane how they do the grievance politics for America's economic position. Literally, like, uncontested, shut up, top dog on top of the economic heap for the whole world, and he's saying we're so victimized and taken advantage of. It's fucking pathetic, dude.
His average tariff on our products is twice what we charge them. And South Korea's average tariff is 4 times higher. Think of that, 4 times higher.
Like, literally, he's arguing for trade parity with South Korea and I think Pakistan and, like, random other countries. That's not how the fucking world economy works, bucko. America's success lives and dies by how much money we owe these countries. You can't keep getting away with this. Maybe he can, but America can't, right? Like America's done so, man.
But we're going to do it in April. I'm a very superstitious person. April 2nd, reciprocal tariffs kick in. And whatever they tariff us, other countries, we will tariff them.
Oh, boy.
Back and forth.
Oh, man. Okay, it's really bad.
We will tax them.
That's bad. People need to be superstitious about Republicans? Yes. That ain't good.
To keep us out of their market, then we will do non-monetary barriers to keep them out of our market.
So... He said that there's going to be tariffs that go into effect on April 2nd, which means this was just the first wave of tariffs. The tariffs did happen, like the Canada and Mexico tariffs happened today. And then next month, there's going to be even more tariffs on other trading partners. South Korea, probably China again, Pakistan, all, you know, these other countries that he's arguing for us to have trade parity with. It's gonna be worse than I could probably even think of at this point.
There's a lot of that too. They don't even allow us in
and now we're speeding it up so
trillions and trillions of dollars to create
so we can catch
like
up.
We have never seen before. I did it with China and I did it with others, and the Biden administration couldn't do anything about it because there was so much money they couldn't do anything about it. We have been ripped off for decades by nearly every country.
Look at this. This fucking grievance politics.
Not let that happen any longer.
You think he has the guts to continue this thing even with public opinion going really down? I think so, yeah. I think he does. Because I think the Republican Party is trying to...
But we have very large deficits with both of them.
They're trying to act as though they don't need the consent of the governed, but they do. Their constituents are getting mad at them, and the Republicans are like are internally saying, okay, well, let's just stop talking to our constituents. Let's stop going and seeing them so they can get mad at us, right? That's the state of the Republican Party right now. Like, I think,
will not be doing that any longer. We're not going to do it any
you know.
longer.
And Trump is possibly even in the position where he benefits from economic collapse. Civil war at Halloween? That's not really how stuff works. We're not going to get it like a Civil War, but yeah, you know, Happy Halloween, it's really spooky, America's dead, or something like that. I don't know.
Anywhere in the world announced a $200 billion investment. OpenAI and Oracle.
Yeah, there we go. I was going to say, like, when he talks about investing billions and trillions of dollars into jobs, he means like AI and shit.
$500 billion investment. Tim Cook.
Coolest sounding thing ever. I should have voted for Trump. Damn, maybe, you know, maybe he's cooking. Civil War at Halloween? That'd be sick. Halloween No Limits. Fuck, please don't make another Halloween movie. Please. I cannot deal with, like, legacy slasher properties getting infinite remakes. And infinite sequels. I can't do it. I take it back. We shouldn't have voted for Trump. Civil War at Halloween sounded cool. If it's another Halloween movie, I can't deal.
The CHIPS Act is a horrible, horrible thing. We give hundreds of billions of dollars, and it doesn't mean a thing. They take our money and they don't spend it. All that meant to them, we're giving them no money. All that was important to them was they didn't want to pay the tariff, so they came and they're building, and many other companies are coming. We don't have to give them money. We just want to protect our businesses and our people. And they will come because they won't have to.
Well, yeah, this is at 1.25 speed.
America, so it's very amazing. You should get rid of
Halloween Jamie Lee Curtis is almost dead. That's true. They're going to probably run that to the bank.
Any other reason you want to.
Might have a heart attack for how much scary stuff has happened. I mean, look. Just do what you got to do, all right?
Our new trade policy will also be great for the American farmer. I love the farmer.
Which is why I put all these tariffs on agricultural products. You know, our farms are not, like, meant to circulate product internally, right? We grow all our shit to export. In fact, Astroflick would probably know this. Like, farmers are going to get shit on by these tariffs.
They may be very dirty and disgusting, and they come in and they pour in, and they hurt our American farmers. The tariffs will...
AI Jamie Lee Curtis will return in Halloween 23 Civil War 4. Fucking true. The absolute state of Hollywood movie making when, like, AI exists.
With China, $50 billion of purchases, and I said, just bear with me, and they did. They did.
Farmer, and this is awful. Yeah, well, there you go.
Again, and this will be even better. That was great. The problem.
Like, what in the world did you think was going to happen? Yeah. Yeah, probably. You know, it's interesting. I think this might be one of the first times that happens with an empire like that, or with like a fascist project and stuff like that. It does seem like some of this is going to be remembered, like the "let them eat cake" comment from right before the French Revolution, right? Like, what the fuck were they thinking? Like, what did they expect was going to happen, you know? The only reason we don't really reflect this way about, like, Germany is because Germany for a while was able to paper over the, like, economic fucking devastation that they were about to wreak on their own country by taking a bunch of war plunder and, you know, like, incredible mismanagement of the German economy under the Nazi regime, right? But, like, we don't remember the Nazis for that because they were largely able to paper it over. It was kind of overshadowed by them invading all of their neighbors and committing a genocide, you know? Like, that was kind of played second fiddle to that. But with America, even though, like, we are enabling a genocide, what's going to be remembered is how America's bad economic decisions at the behest of Trump and the oligarchs is, like, taking the entire world down with them. Who's this guy? This guy's a thumb. I don't know who he is.
Here today is a proud American steelworker, fantastic person from.
Great. They got one steelworker. Americans literally voted for the tariff man because prices were too high. I don't know if we deserve to make it out of this. If we make it out of this, then we deserve to make it out of this, right? Like, suffering will be our teacher. Is up to us to succeed from there. You know? Class trader? Yeah.
They're about protecting the soul of our country. Tariffs are about making America rich again and making...
To manufacture the consent of the American workers, I've brought one, parentheses, one steel worker
okay with that? It won't be much.
from a non-specific steel mill in the mid-Atlantic.
And look where Biden took
He's
us,
great. He
very
voted
low,
for
the
me.
lowest we've ever been.
That's it. That's the only one.
Thank you very much. And I also
You
want
got
to
Juan
recognize
guy.
another person who has
Who
devoted
paid that
himself
steel.
to
Yeah,
foster
first
care.
time Trump has paid any of his workers. It's one steel worker guy to show up at a rally.
Magnificent First Lady of the
Perfect.
United
No
States.
notes. You know, normally I don't like paying my workers. But this guy, he's great. He voted for me. He came to the rally. He's here to tell me that, sir, your agenda's great. It's good. You should go ahead with it. I love tariffs. So I had to sign a check right there.
Our First Lady is joined by two impressive young women, very impressive. Haley Ferguson, who benefited from the First Lady's Fostering the Future initiative and is poised to complete her education and become a teacher. And Elliston Berry, who became a victim of an illicit deepfake image produced by a peer.
That's pretty bad.
Elliston's help, the Senate
Except they
just
love that.
passed
They
the
love AI.
Take It Down Act, and this is so important. Thank
I
you
want the
very much.
word Republican to have a bad meaning, like the same as Nazis. Yeah, I think it should. I think that'd be good. Also, Sock Now, or Soak Now, thank you for the follow. Thank you very much. Welcome to the stream. Also, I feel like this, I think this is the, whichever one of these ladies were like, gonna be a teacher. Republicans fucking hate that. A woman who's in the education system and getting educated and is going to be a teacher, literally everything the Republicans hate in one package.
I'm going to use that bill for myself too, if you don't mind.
Socialism must be now. Fuck fascism. So true.
That I do online. Nobody.
This is true. You kind of need socialism, otherwise you get this shit. You get tariffs followed by other tariffs followed by other tariffs. Just legendary economic mismanagement.
Than securing America's borders. Over the past 4 years, 21
And this guy
million
just
people
saying
poured into
whatever the fuck.
United States. Many of them were murderers.
Republicans still had a decent history with the Civil War, whereas the Nazis were a new thing. That's true. That's true. You believe that some people say that both sides are still bad? That is, like, incomprehensible to me. That, like, you could say that, like, oh, you know, fucking left and right, they're both bad, actually. Enlightened centrism bit. Like, three-head take. You know? Are the Democrats bad? Yeah. But they're not the left, and they are like they're incomparable to Republicans and how fucking horrible the Republicans are. You know, night and day.
Thank you. What a job they've all done. Everybody, Border Patrol, ICE, law enforcement in general is incredible. We have to take care of our law enforcement.
And of course, I hate the Democrats because they're supposed to be the closest thing that we have to political representation, and they're just sitting there with their thumb up their ass or something. Like, that's the problem that I have with the Democrats, is that they are supposed to be not entirely captured, but they are. The problem I have with Republicans is that they're evil and Nazis and want to kill everybody.
On the campus of the University of Georgia. That morning, Lakin was viciously attacked.
One of future schools to teach horseshoes theory as the most stupidest thing ever. Yeah.
Horrifically murdered. Lakin was...
Yeah, you get, like, you only get, like, fundamentally... I think you... Okay, he's talking about immigrants. Great. We can talk about the Lake and Riley Act a little bit. Like, I think you can only really earn the right to say, I hate both Democrat and the Republicans, if you're a progressive who thinks the Democrats aren't good enough and that the Republicans just want to kill everybody. If you're a centrist, that like your fucking position is, I actually like the Republicans, but I have to pretend that I hate both sides because, like, you know, I don't want the social consequences of being a reactionary or whatever. I'm like too much of a pussy to have any actual beliefs, you know? There is definitely a different vibe. He's talking about the Laken Riley Act. Laken Riley was a girl that was killed, or lady? I don't remember how old she was. Was killed by an undocumented immigrant, which is rare. It is extremely rare. That's part of why it gained such national attention, because it's one of the fucking only times that it has happened recently. And they use that as an excuse, like, you know what? We're sending all the illegals, the bad hombres, the illegals to Cuba, to Guantanamo Bay. Send them there to fucking rot, apparently. That's the Laken Riley Act. Cannot name every single person that dies. Yeah, you can't name every single person that dies per year in America. You could name every person that's killed by undocumented immigrants in a year, because it really does not happen. Why did God protect Trump during the assassination, but not Laken Riley? Is God a misogynist? Fucking true. I mean, his position is the father with the capital F, so I mean, you know, maybe. Back over the wall. He's not even sending them back to Mexico. Like, Joe Biden and Barack Obama were like deporting more people than Trump was. They're trying to send them to Gitmo, which is where they fucking committed unspeakable acts against people that were brown enough for them to label terrorists, even though they hadn't like had a trial or anything like that. God is the ultimate fascist. True. Fascism does often come clothed in the language of God, because a lot of fascists want to be God. They want to be the father in the hierarchy or whatever the fuck.
The media and our friends
It's complicated,
the
kind of.
Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
The Democrats wanted to do something. They wanted to capitulate to the Republicans. But I got in office and I did nothing. So take that, actually.
Thank you.
Bro.
Joe Biden didn't just
sure.
open our borders
Fuck
to
it.
illegal aliens over them to overwhelm our schools, hospitals, and communities throughout the country. Entire towns like Aurora, Colorado, and Springfield, Ohio, buckled under the weight of the migrant occupation and corruption like nobody's ever seen before. Beautiful towns destroyed. I
love that because he's very inartful and like he kind of waffles a lot. He'll just say like nobody's ever seen before. Also, this is some Turner Diaries shit. Like, immigrants are invading the country. They're occupying the city. We gotta fucking repel the invasion. Every immigrant is actually a militant. There are no civilians.
I have gotten to know
Me when I definitely don't want to commit a genocide against minorities.
Wonderful woman. Last June, Alexis's 12-year-old daughter, her precious Jocelyn,
Nunguri.
walked to a nearby
What a name.
convenience store. She was kidnapped.
They're trying to do their best to create the next Holocaust. Yeah, I don't know if they'll have the sauce for it, but yeah, this is very similar to the kind of shit that Nazi Germany was doing to Jewish people in the lead up to the Holocaust.
Released into America by the last administration through their ridiculous open border. The death of this beautiful 12-year-old girl and the agony of her mother and family touched our entire nation greatly. Alexis, I promised that we would always remember your daughter, your magnificent daughter, and earlier tonight I signed an order keeping my word to you. One thing I
Is
have
the mother
learned
of Lakin
about
Riley?
Jocelyn is that she loved animals so much. She loved
I don't know.
nature.
You imagine this
Of course,
version,
Galveston Bay, where Jocelyn
their ads
lived
in the
in Houston,
concentration
you'll
camps.
find a
You
magnificent national wildlife refuge.
fucking
A
get the
pristine,
campaign ads in the
peaceful,
concentration camps in your
34,000
prison
acre
cell.
sanctuary for all of God's
Yeah,
creatures.
that's so true. The American Holocaust
Home
will
of
consist of
America.
Latino men killing other
Alexis,
Latino men. That's
moments
so
ago, I
fucking
formally
true. Holy
renamed
shit.
that refuge
Average white
in
supremacist
loving
looks
memory of
identical to the
beautiful
fucking
daughter Jocelyn.
average person
So,
that the
Mr.
average white
President,
supremacist
if
wants
you
to,
would,
like, wipe off
may
the
I
face of
have
the
the
earth. Hold on, what is it? Literally... Here, hold on. Where's the... Alright. It's from iFunny, which is fucking cringe, but, like, literally this image.
All three savages
Is literally just this.
Jocelyn and Lakin's
Can't read that, dude.
murders were
It says,
members
"Go
of the
back to your
Edwards
country.
Webb
We don't want
prison
your
gang,
kind
the
here."
toughest
He's
gang
wearing the
in
American
the
flag.
world,
This guy's wearing the Mexican
known as
flag, and they look the
Trinity
exact fucking
Nicaragua.
same.
2 weeks
It's
ago,
literally
I
just
officially
this.
designated this gang, along with MS-13 and the bloodthirsty Mexican drug cartels, as foreign
We don't
terrorist
want your kind here.
organizations.
Guy that looks the same as the other guy. Do you know, Bertoro? Or not do any of this dumb shit of Latin on Latin? Trump's law? Oh, okay. I hate gusanos. True! Honestly, me too.
They are now officially in the same category as ISIS, and that's not good for them. Countless thousands of these terrorists
Take it into the
were
Hunger
welcomed
Games.
into the U.S. by the Biden administration. But now every last one will be rounded up and forcibly removed from our country, or
I don't know if
they're
he's...
too dangerous,
Well,
put in jails, standing trial in this country, because we don't want them to come back ever. With us this evening is a
if they're
warrior
too
on the
dangerous, they'll
front
get due
lines of that
process.
battle.
If they're not dangerous,
Border
he's
Patrol
got...
agent
It's kind of funny. He's like,
Roberto Ortiz.
if they're a threat, we'll give them due process, you know, just to be good about it. I feel like if I translate that, it like, well, I can kind of read Spanish, but I don't know fully what it says. All just plea bargains? Yeah, pretty much. And he's even saying, like, yeah, the not dangerous ones, we'll just round them up, throw them out of the country.
Rio Grande.
Eat my ass.
The
Ah,
area
okay,
known
yes.
as
Nice.
Cartel Island.
True.
Doesn't sound too nice to me. When heavily armed gunmen started shooting,
Most of them are bottoms anyway, right?
Roberto saw that his
So I think
partner
that applies.
was totally exposed, at great danger, and he leapt into action, returning fire and providing crucial seconds for his fellow agent to seek safety.
This,
just barely. I have some of the prints of that event, and it was not good. Agent Ortiz, we salute you for your great
Why do
courage and,
pick-me's exist?
for your
I mean,
line of fire that you took, and for
it's like main character syndrome, right? They think they're built different. It's like,
oh,
oh, but I'm one of the good ones, right? This guy a border agent or something? I don't know. It's like, oh, you know, yeah, they want to, like, purge all the degenerates, but I'm one of the good ones. Yeah, it is like a self-serving interest in getting access to power.
Many calls,
you know?
to the border. He's a great gentleman.
But then they don't realize, like, nobody, for some reason... Okay, yes, cartels, whatever. Like, for some fucking reason, everybody looks at the night of, what is it, the Night of Long Knives, and they fucking do the, like, nah, I'd win, and then they just do the same fucking thing again. And then they don't win. Anyway, he's talking about cartels, by which he means, like, Hispanic people that have friends sometimes and live in America, probably.
Mexican authorities,
It's like a version of saying the same thing over and over.
tariff policies being imposed.
There's a reason the brave always die first. Yeah.
To us, 29 of the biggest cartel leaders in their country. That has never.
He's standing in front of a Taco Bell as the ICE agents roll up. Come and take it. Ha! True.
But we need Mexico and Canada to do much more.
Come and get 'em.
And they have to stop the fentanyl and drugs pouring into the USA.
It's like
I have sent Congress
like Jennifer Gonzalez, the governor of territory of Puerto Rico, and she's a Trump supporter. Yeah, she sounds detestable.
Complete the largest deportation operation in
You know,
American history, larger even
being the governor of Puerto Rico as a territory is like, wasn't ICE taking Indians? You like Indians or like American Indians? Yeah, Jennifer Gonzalez, like being the governor of Puerto Rico is like
Mr. Speaker,
pretty close to being like unaccountable.
thank you.
Yes, they were taking yeah, like tribal American Indians.
Send it to me. I'll sign it so fast you won't even believe it.
In fact, some of the biggest victims of crimes at the hands of police and state agents have been American Indians. It's just, you know, now the Border Patrol is doing it too, which is ironic because it's like, fucking, these are tribal people that have been here for thousands of years.
In recent years,
Juan Dalmau, I like him. I want him in power. I don't know who that is, but I believe
by
you.
radical left lunatics. Many
gonna point at the
jurisdictions
Democrats.
virtually ceased enforcing the law against dangerous repeat offenders while weaponizing law enforcement against.
Honestly, I think the Democrats need to start yelling again.
My administration has acted swiftly and decisively to restore.
Yeah,
fair,
it's all,
equal-
dude. The fucking like all the people, these racist fucks who are or like constantly on about like illegal immigration and deport all the immigrants and shit. They're so entitled. They're so entitled. They're like, we deserve this country. We deserve to have all the treats. We deserve to be the treatlers. And they fucking pitch a fit, dude. Hopefully I did a convincing impression there. But, like, seriously, it's all grievance politics. They're all so aggrieved and victimized, and we deserve restitution for fucking, I don't know, imagined slights against us by groups that have no power. It's like... Well, I struggle to think of what it's like. I think it's only exactly like itself, you know? They cry and bitch and moan that they don't have even more power. That is to say, the power to say the N-word and kill minorities. Like that's... And they think they're entitled to that. Because it's like, oh, well, we should have institutional power to do that. We were the Independence Party's farthest left Puerto Rico Pipito Party. Belongs to the Socialist International as their international affiliate party. Sure, fuck it. Yeah, I think that'd be good. You know, at this point, I genuinely think that in some ways, like, my position on this used to be that, like, probably statehood for Puerto Rico would have been the best. But, like, right now, independence probably a pretty fucking good idea to, like, separate from the United States. Like, yeah. You know, if Puerto Rico wants a future, independence is more and more looking like the way to go for that. And, you know, if they're leftist, all the better.
He was a real bad one. The thug in the seat next to him.
I hate statehood with all my might. Okay. Especially, yeah, now that seems like it's probably a bad idea.
They say a lot of them. I attended
Give land back? True.
Service, and when I met his wife,
Invincible is about to end the season, which means you can watch it. Oh, yeah. Is it? It's nearing the end of the season?
His widow's name is Stephanie.
That's nice.
And she is here tonight. Stephanie, thank you very much, Stephanie. Thank you very much.
Stephanie Dillon? On the 12th. Ah, okay.
His murder had 21 prior arrests, and they were...
What is this?
Was gunned down at a traffic stop on Long Island. I went to his funeral. The
Long
vicious
Island.
criminal charged with his murder had 21 prior arrests, and they were rough arrests, too. He was a real bad one. The thug
That's the Hitlerite part of New York.
had 14 prior arrests, and went by the name of Killer. He was Killer. He killed other people, they say, a lot of them. I attended Officer Diller's service, and when I met his wife and one-year-old son,
Okay.
it was very
Police, rare instances of a police being killed by somebody rather than the police doing the killing. And it was by somebody with a bunch of prior, like, arrests and stuff. It is a real issue that, like, the carceral system, like, the incarceration system and, like, the air quotes rehabilitation system in the U.S. just has no way of dealing with fucking mentally ill people. There's like, fuck it, whatever, you know. It's fucked up. Support Hawaiian independence, support giving land back to the indigenous peoples, fuck the Union of all states. Honestly, Hawaii's got so many corruption problems that there probably is also an argument to be made there. Generally, I am Luxembourg pilled, not a huge fan of all the independence movements, not always anyways, not on principle. But, you know, if there's an argument to be made that materially society in XYZ region would be way better if it were separated from, like, what is obviously an oppressor state, then yeah, I'm sympathetic to that.
Tough on repeat offenders while enhancing protections for America's police officers so they can do their jobs without fear of their lives being totally destroyed.
Oh, great. They want more qualified immunity. They want police to be able to shoot even more black people.
Joining us in the gallery tonight is a
You just get conquered if they try to separate. That's what happens. In the modern world, it's not quite like that, you know?
he has always dreamed of becoming a police officer.
No, they're making young Hitlerites. Okay. Literally what happened to Ukraine. Well, Russia, it was kind of, I don't know how much this is going to be the case going forward. Russia was kind of like the exception that proved the rule. Russia is unusually militarily belligerent to countries that are nearby, you know?
But in 2018, DJ...
Yeah, true, well, actually, the Supreme Court overturned all those felony convictions.
That was more than 6 years ago.
Because the Supreme Court just fucking does whatever he says anyway. Unfortunately. Yeah.
Since that time, DJ and his dad have been on a quest to make his dream come true. And DJ
You like it even though it's a Disney show? X-Men 97? Maybe.
Officer, actually, a number of times, the police...
But yeah, the Law and Order shtick coming from fucking Trump is rich. I think whenever Republicans say...
Secret Service Director Sean Curran to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
They're probably doing like the honorary agent thing so the kid can feel special. Basically saying might makes right. Yeah, it's just like the Law and Order talking points from the Republicans just means we should allow the police to do more violence against people, right? Because you can bring up the justice system and how the law demands that people have certain rights and protections, and they fucking hate that part. They hate human rights law, but they do like the law that allows you to hit black people with a stick. Even though the law doesn't really exist, unless, of course, you're a cop. You know, which is what they mean. Take a look this way. If someone sold title to your car, this way, give about it. Ancestors, Model T, signed away your title to them. They decide to make your car a lemon. What is this analogy? Wait, decide to make your car a lemon. Until they continue using your car. Don't Fed post. Tell you your car. No, of course. I support land back and all that. Soak now. I support land back. For sure.
With the name Kennedy, you would have thought everybody...
Oh, okay, yeah. Like lemon, like a beat-up car.
How quickly they forget. Our goal is to get toxins out of...
Yeah, just don't do the Professor Flowers thing, but land back is based. You know, like right of return and all that shit.
As an example, not long ago, and you can't even believe these numbers, 1 in 10,000 children had autism, 1 in 10,000, and now it's 1 in 36. There's something.
Damn,
wrong.
that's
1 in
crazy.
36
Autism
every
stay
day.
winning. Total
So we're
autism
gonna
victory.
find out what
Let's
it is,
fucking
and
go,
there's nobody
baby.
better than Bobby and all of the people that are working with you. You have the best to figure out what is going on. Okay, Bobby, good luck. It's a very important job. Thank you.
Who's Professor Flowers? Professor Flowers was it was a moment in time for the online left. She was a lady who defended the concept of like mass killing white South Africans, basically doing the like genocide and displacement from the other way around, which was a dumb position to take. You know,
And pronouns.
there's some
They,
there's some
them
kooky
pronoun,
people out
actually.
there, is what
All
I'm
without
saying.
telling January, who is here tonight and is now a courageous advocate against this form of child abuse.
Ew,
January,
apartheid?
thank
Yeah,
you.
true.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's like she basically she kind of operated as like the caricature that conservatives imagine that liberals or people on the left are when they talk about like land back or ending apartheid or addressing racial inequality, which is you just want to kill all white people. And then she like doubled into that and was like, yes. It's like, no, actually, that's not. What's up? Someone like her is working on the Wakanda Forever. I haven't seen that movie. I'm probably not gonna.
I also signed an order to cut off all taxpayer funding to any institution that engages in the sexual mutilation of our youth.
Great. No longer funding probably most medical.
I want Congress to pass a bill permanently banning and criminalizing sex changes on children and forever ending. The
Oh,
lie
yeah.
that
The
any child is trapped
colonizer,
in
yeah.
the wrong body. This is a big lie.
I don't know. That kind of stuff is pretty funny. Especially because it was like a CIA agent, which is like the most applicable that could probably be.
Way God made you.
Okay, this is the anti-trans stuff. This is, if anything, this is going to get the Republican Party in trouble with their constituents down the line. More so than right now. I think the tariffs are mostly...
Wokeness out of our schools and out of our military and...
Great, thank you. I think, like, the tariffs are on people's minds right now, you know, the price of eggs, etc., etc. But, like, the Republican Party is very singularly hateful of trans people and queer people. The hatred, the anti-queer sentiment and the anti-trans sentiment especially, that would drive a political party to fucking strip all federal funding of medical institutions that would be willing to, like, give gender-affirming care to people. Or, like... That kind of hatred, that level of hatred, is not reflected in the American public. Not even in the Republican base, for the most part.
Wokeness
You know?
is trouble. Wokeness is bad. It's gone. It's gone. And we feel so much better for it, don't we?
Might just have to leave the country if you're trans. Yeah, or like, at the very least, have an exit plan to go first to, like, a blue state or, you know, like, that has sanctuary laws, and then, yeah, potentially leave the country for Canada or Mexico or countries that are more friendly to trans rights and stuff like that. Again, but, like, only if you can. It's, you know, right, it's probably hard for a lot of people.
Not big into the woke movement, I can tell you. I know him well.
Ask them for a very strategic question. What about the log-gabbing Republicans who support gender-affirming care? I think they've actually... I think they've actually kind of excised the log cabin Republicans from their coalition. You know? Like, I remember the Republican Party and the log cabin Republicans having a big, like, Twitter spat or something like that. You know, the Night of Long Knives is kind of happening as we're watching here.
Just about that we've ever had. What a tremendous turnaround. It's really a beautiful thing to see. People love our country again. It's very simple. They love our country, and they love being in our military again. So it's a great thing, and thank you very much. Great job.
We got wokeness out of the military. We're not recruiting any more black soldiers. You know what? Actually, critical support to Trump.
Young man Jason Hartley, who knows the weight.
Critical support to Trump for enacting the Maoist plan of revolution, gutting the American military by removing all the DEI programs that got them competent officers and recruits to begin with. You know, the death of the military-industrial complex is at hand or something. Yeah. Thank you, Comrade Trump. Death to the American empire and such.
Of that Call of Duty.
Very true.
Jason's father, grandfather, and
Call of Duty? Video game
all wore
reference?
the uniform. Jason tragically
More
lost his
boring
dad,
version of the Night of Long Knives.
who was
Yeah,
also
shit is
Los
a
Angeles
lot more boring now.
deputy when he was
Funnily
deployed,
enough.
and now he wants to carry on
I think in the
his
Night of Long
legacy.
Knives, they like actually killed and
Jason's
arrested
senior
a
year
bunch of
in high
those
school, a six-letter varsity
people that were
athlete
part of
and
like the
good
Nazi
athlete
coalition.
a brilliant
Now they're just kind of like
7.4,
blocking them on Twitter,
and his greatest dream is to attend the
which is way
US
dumber,
Military Academy at West Point.
like aesthetically speaking. And yeah, you know, more boring. But I think part of that is also driven by the fact that, like, I think part of that is also, like,
And
proof that,
Jason, that's a very big deal getting in. That's our
like, the sentiment needed for them to, like, start killing people just isn't there, you know?
will soon be joining the Corps of Cadets.
I wonder if the Democrats will have to speak for the rebuttal. I'm hoping Bernie, but I know not to get my hopes up. No, they're having Alyssa Slotkin do the rebuttal. The Democratic Party is having Alyssa Slotkin, who voted for 8 of Trump's cabinet picks, to do the rebuttal to the State of the Union. I saw a Kyle Kalinske, shoutouts to Secular Talk, my fucking man, post on it. Where did he do this? I think I liked the post. Damn it. Where is it? Okay, yeah, here. The reason to support these questions more is if you were talking about it from their party, which is getting fame through MAGA, it's easy to stir some sectarian shit. That's probably true.
Just wasn't there, not even close, but now we have the technology.
Send Mr. V into debate bro Trump. True, put Vosh up there and he will kill Trump instantly with his fucking debate bro abilities.
Tim, right? They should have it too, so I want to thank you. But it's
Bernie or Walls, someone with a spine should do their own on the internet or something. Great minds think alike, because there are a lot of Democrats that just didn't show up and are doing that exact thing.
To boost our defense industrial base, we are also going to resurrect the American shipbuilding industry, including commercial shipbuilding and military.
Let me look for... This doesn't mean anything. America's not going to be manufacturing shit with all the tariffs that we're putting on raw materials. Here, hold on. Secular Talk. Thank you. What was that post about Alyssa Slotkin? Oh, he posts a lot. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find this. One of them should protest arguments, so they have to kick them out one at a time. That would actually be really smart. That would be really smart. One person get up and protest. God, I only fucking wish the Democrats were organized enough to do this. Here, let me... Listen. Top, latest maybe? Dang it. Yeah, like, fucking, if the Democrats were well organized enough, then they would do, like, have one person at a time protest Trump speaking, so that they would have to, one at a time, go through them to fucking do all of the, like, removals and stuff. Although it's possible that eventually they just group punish them and stuff. But again, it's like you want to force them to get to that point.
They died of malaria. They died of snake bites. And
Kyle and Sam Cedar, my dudes. They're some of the fucking best in the business. Highly recommended.
25% chance that they would die.
Tariffs are the most dumbest policy I've ever heard of. Yeah, it's pretty dumb.
If you bring it up to modern day costs, it was given away by the Carter administration for $1. But that
if they're group punished, you can blame them for you not doing anything.
We didn't give it to China. We gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back.
I'm not sure I take your meaning.
And we have Marco Rubio.
Elissa. Okay, here, hold on.
Now,
You go back
we
to
know who
that.
to blame if anything goes wrong. Marco's been amazing, and he's going to do a great job. Think of it. He got 100 votes.
Search.
You know, he was approved with actually 99, but the 100th was this gentleman, and I feel very certain. So let's assume he got 100 votes.
Yeah.
And I'm either very, very happy about that or I'm very concerned about it.
Oh, damn it.
He's already proven. I mean, he's a great gentleman.
they
He's
kick
respected by
everyone?
everybody, and we appreciate you voting for him.
Yeah, I got that
He's gonna
part,
do a
but like,
fantastic job. Thank you. Thank you. He's doing
oh, like if the Democrats all get kicked out, then they can blame the Republicans for that. Yes, I think I agree.
We strongly support your right to determine your own future. And if
What
you
is this?
choose, we welcome you into the United States of America.
Hey, how they're going
Greenland for
after
national
Panama, I really
security
do.
and
Yeah,
international
dude,
security, and we're working with everybody involved to try and get it.
it's not good. It is really not good.
International world security. And I think we're going to get it. One way or the other, we're going to get it. We will keep you safe. We will make you rich, and together we will take Greenland to heights like you have never thought possible before. It's a very small population, but very,
Yeah,
very
let's just
large piece
fucking
of
go
land
after that
and very,
entirely.
very important for
I think the like
military security. America is once again.
great, cool. The like the whole. I think the whole like going after the Panama Canal and stuff is just motivated from a place of that like grievance politics, when America's so taken advantage of and we're entitled to all this shit that may or may not actually help America. They had to wait for Jimmy Carter to die to invade Panama because they knew he was too powerful. Yeah, true. Jimmy Carter would have single-handedly like gone to Panama in his wheelchair or whatever the fuck, and engaged in humanitarian efforts to rebuild Panama society, so that their military would be able to set up like barricades around the canal or some shit. They would have had to stop him. Someone can make a YouTube channel off of Trump lying, just counting each one. God, that'd be an editing nightmare.
I want to thank especially the government of Pakistan for helping arrest this monster. This was a very momentous.
That would. I'm thinking about how you would have to edit that, and it would be a nightmare.
Whose children
Like,
were murdered, and the many people that were so bad.
he's been talking for 20 seconds, probably lied like 6 or 7 times.
On that fateful day in Afghanistan.
It's like how the fuck. Oof. Like, I'd have a hard time editing that. That's for sure.
Putin saw what happened.
Not all at once, obviously. No, I know, but like,
maybe this is my chance. That's how bad it was.
even just counting all of them, I'd had to like proof watch several times, which is
I spoke to many of
a lot. Like I said, he just says shit.
Loved ones, and they're all in our hearts tonight. Just spoke to them on the phone. We had a big call. Every one of them called.
Every time Vance stands up to clap, I expect him to be wearing a diaper. Yeah, true. He's the fucking. Oh man.
As happy as you can be under those
I cannot. I absolutely cannot like get over that fucking image of JD Vance with the fucking propeller beanie and lollipop.
hostages from Gaza. In my first term, we achieved one of the most groundbreaking peace agreements.
Yeah, the hostages in Gaza that all fucking died because of Israeli airstrikes. The hostages that actually made it back alive, that testified in front of the Israeli parliament, were actually like saying, no, it was the Israeli airstrikes that killed the other hostages. Like Israel fucking, what was it, Hannibal Directive or whatever? Where it's like, yeah, as long as you kill Hamas, it's fine if you also kill his Israelis or something.
For the entire region. A lot of things are happening in the Middle East.
Hispanics are illegal immigrants, taking my job away. We're taking the Panama Canal away. We're going to rename the Gulf of Mexico. We're going to take away FEMA funds and deport Dominicans from Puerto Rico.
Rough neighborhood.
Yeah,
I'm also working
like
tirelessly
it's
to end the savage conflict
they get
in
so hurt
Ukraine.
up in their fifis about
Millions
this
of
shit.
Ukrainians
Like
and
it's
Russians
actually
have been
crazy the degree to
needlessly
which they are
killed
so focused
or
on
wounded
hating
in
all
this
the brown
horrific
people
and
that
brutal
live in our
conflict
immediate vicinity.
with no end
It's
in sight.
irrational. It's irrational.
The
It
United
defies
States has
all
sent
like
hundreds of billions of
ability to
dollars
actually
support
do something that
Ukraine's
benefits
defense.
somebody.
With
You
no
know?
security, with
Oh, you know he's not.
no other
True. We don't know. We don't know for sure that JD Vance is not currently wearing a diaper. So I'm more and more insulted. Yeah. I feel like we're all getting pretty fucking insulted on the regular, you know. Not like a join the club moment. I'm just saying, like, you know, I sympathize greatly. Okay, I found the post. Yeah, I was confused as to why I couldn't.
2,000 people are being killed every single week.
What is this?
The United States has sent hundreds of billions of dollars to support Ukraine's defense with no security, with
He's going for a kiss there? What's going on? With Trump? Ooh, if...
Do you want to keep it going for another 5 years? Yeah, you would say Pocahontas says yes.
Ah, classic. Calling Warren Pocahontas. Okay, that's what that was. If Trump and Putin were to create a new axis, would Israel and Iran both be a part of it? Fun thought experiment. Iran wouldn't. Israel would. Israel would probably be a part of that. Iran is actually has distinct enough geopolitical interest from America and Russia that they probably wouldn't.
They've spent more buying Russian oil and gas than they have defending. And we've spent perhaps $350 billion. Like taking
He's going for the fucking racism speedrun world record or some shit.
$100 billion. What a difference that is. And we have an ocean separating us, and they don't. But we're getting along very well with them, and lots of good things are happening. Biden has authorized more money in this fight than Europe has.
What is he saying?
Billions and billions of dollars. It's hard.
Oh, he's okay.
They wouldn't have stopped it and said at some point.
He's just talking about actually we should be sympathetic to Putin here. Also, Ukraine has scammed us. More grievance politics. More grievance politics. I don't know. It's probably like yeah. I'd be like, look, I might as well just do this, right? Like he's just gonna lie every fucking time he opens his mouth. It's a load of shit. I mean, the reason I'm listening to this for the most part is that he might say something like revealing unintentionally. But you know, like that's the value I intend to get out of this at some point.
Regarding the agreement on minerals and security, Ukraine is ready to sign it at any time.
Okay.
That is convenient for you.
This is
that he sent this letter. Just got it a little while ago.
yeah, he's still trying to lean on Ukraine to sign this. Basically, like, yeah, let Russia and America colonize you and divide up your fucking natural resources. What's your browser? I love the look. I'm using Opera GX. Yeah. Cringe gamer browser, sure, whatever, but, you know.
Wouldn't that be beautiful? It's time to stop this madness. It's time to halt the killing.
It's
time to end the senseless war. If you want to end war,
by giving Putin everything he wants.
Nearly 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a lot less resource hungry than Chrome. Okay, I found the post. This is who's doing the Democratic rebuttal. This Chuck Schumer posted this. Fucking actual like leader of the Democrats in the Senate posted this. I'm announcing Senator Slotkin will deliver our Democratic response to Trump's joint address. So it's like the State of the Union, but they don't actually call it that. Nothing short of a rising star in our party, blah, 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 glazing. And then Kyle points out, voted for 8 of Trump's cabinet members, voted for the Lake and Riley Act killing due process for immigrants, George W. Bush National Security Advisor, first Democrat endorsed by Liz Cheney, pro-Israeli genocide, pro-TikTok ban, and anti-student debt relief. She's just a fucking Republican. That's the Democratic rebuttal. That's who the Democrats are putting up. Shoutouts to Kyle, he always brings the receipts. Luigi could not have happened for a better time. I actually think I kind of agree, yeah. Like, all it took was that, and then the entire illusion of meritocracy was just completely shattered.
As fate would have it, Mark
You know?
Fogel was born in a small
Every bad thing he
town
never-
near Butler, Pennsylvania. Have you heard?
Every bad thing he ever
Where his
mentions
mother had
is
lived
himself.
for
That is
the
true.
Past 78 years.
And it is pretty funny.
I just happened to go there last July 13th for a rally.
The border was a mess that I did nothing to fix. Thank you. Great. Fantastic.
And that is where
Prices were higher than they've ever been because I put the tariffs in effect. I put tariffs in effect in my first term. Not sure if people remember that. I tariffed all the farm products. It hurt the farmers greatly.
Never forgot. Less than 10 minutes later,
Future media turned him into a vigilante anti-hero. I anticipate that's going to be his fate. He's going to be like a folk hero. Or like a folk figure. It's already kind of happening.
From his sniper's perch into a crowd of many thousands of people. My life was saved by a fraction of an inch, but some were not so lucky.
Oh yeah, he's recalling the assassination attempt against him. The AI generated assassination attempt. That it didn't actually happen, guys.
The air was a horrible sound.
Luigi's gonna get out of this, right? Or no? No. The due process is like at this. For this one case with Luigi Mangione, the entire liberal system basically consolidated behind, okay, whatever else happens, we have to fucking punish this guy. Like, they did some wildly illegal shit to even catch him in the time that they did. And functionally, the trial that he's getting is, like, basically a show trial. They just want to say, like, hey, don't do vigilante acts of violence against the ruling class, because we'll bring the entire fucking force of the surveillance state down on top of you. They're trying to make Luigi into a show of force. But what they didn't realize is that they also created a martyr. And they really, really tried to uncreate the martyr after they'd already created him. Yeah, his lawyer is doing her best, but I think everybody in that situation understands that irrespective of whether Luigi even did it or not, which, I mean, he probably did, but, like, the public doesn't know for sure. I'm sure the police have access to some wildly unconstitutionally obtained information on this, but effectively the ruling class has decided. All the people with access to the levers of power that can influence the judicial system when they really need to have decided Luigi's gonna get fucked for this. You think the jury's gonna be better on this issue? Truthfully, I don't think so. I don't think the jury is going to do a jury nullification, although they could, and it would be really funny.
Leave us all with a shining example of the selfless devotion of a true American patriot. It was love like Corey's that built our
Cecil was
country,
really
and
be
it's love
recruited
like
as an
Corey's that is
assassin?
going to make
Maybe.
our country more
Bro, if
majestic
Cecil
than
was
ever
real,
before.
I feel like he'd get into some deep shit with the oligarchs really quickly.
I was saved by God to make America great again. I believe that.
Just by virtue of having principles. Because he'd probably be one of the military industrial brass that isn't really willing to just turn the United States over to oligarchs, because those oligarchs would probably be like, yeah, sure, we'll align with the Viltrumites or whatever. He's like, fuck that.
Thank you very much. From the Patriots of
Liberals have been the biggest
Lexington,
problem in
Concord,
all of
to the
this.
heroes of Gettysburg,
Yeah, I mean, it's a liberal system, They created and turned into the fascists that we're now watching. That'd make for a good season. It would.
Soared at Kitty Hawk, to the astronauts who touched the moon. Americans have always been the people who
Cecil brings Peronism to America. Based
made
alert.
the most extraordinary sacrifices and did whatever it took to defend our children, our country, and our freedom.
I mean,
As we have seen in this chamber tonight,
never
that
forget
same
that they
strong
tried to,
faith,
they
love, and spirit
were
is still alive and
confronted with, the Democrats were confronted with one of the worst presidential campaigns that I can fucking put my finger on. And they somehow ran a worse one. They did everything they could to kill the momentum they had. They ran Liz Cheney. Come on. the liberals did cause this in large part. It's like we're looking at a stagnating liberal system, which is like a fucking dried out wheat field, and they prevented any attempt to water the wheat field, and then the fascism is the fire that inevitably consumes the wheat field. You know? Dissolve the Democratic Party. Even at this stage, I think we would still have more success with a progressive takeover of the Democratic Party, because it didn't take much for the base to really activate over this, you know? And in fact, one thing that makes me say that is that the Democrats, like, started complaining about their base calling them and stuff like that. I'm sure you've seen these news articles where the Democrats were like, why are you calling us so much? Stop. And that was the exact moment that people started to pick up, okay, we need to call these fuckers way more, you know, because they're complaining about us calling them and trying to tell them to do things. So we need to do it more and basically overwhelm them because they're pussies. And that kind of works. You know, but ultimately, yes, it's got to be one or the other. Either the Democratic Party gets taken over by progressives from the inside, or it just gets dissolved. Like, there's no other way out of that.
Time to take up the righteous cause of American liberty. And it is our turn to take America's destiny into our own hands and begin the most thrilling days in the history of our country. This will be our greatest era. With God's help, over the next 4 years, we are going to lead this nation even higher, and we are going to forge the freest, most advanced, most dynamic...
Unintentionally realistic that the Viltrumite killed all the superheroes, knowing that the superheroes stand a chance. Yeah.
Build the safest and
Don't stop me, bitch.
and
Yeah, true.
and most vital
So lazy.
anywhere in the world.
It's like I'm talking to a grub fat incel. Yeah, I mean the like, dude, the current like structure of the Democratic Party is fucked beyond recognition. It is so bad, and I think Astroflick is right. That might not be all you need, but you do need a bunch. You need at least several dozen, maybe even hundreds of clones of FDR and Lyndon Johnson that will go and like. It basically say, cool, I'm going to do this. You're not going to stop me. You can't stop me. Fuck you, actually. America will experience 21st century Peronism. A chicken in every pot. Great, thank you. That's Huey Long. You know, they need people with that kind of presence and weight to them. You know? And legitimately one of the downfalls of the Democratic Party is going to come from its own success in suppressing progressives. In having suppressed progressives with that kind of presence for so long, eventually there's going to be too many of them coming up at the same time for the structure to handle. Does that make sense? Like, it's going to be so foreign to them that they're going to, they will have constructed a party so ineffective that it's no longer even capable of dealing with internal dissent.
Has only just begun. It will be like nothing that has ever been seen before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
Okay, that was it. Yeah, literally Democrats are like, have you considered just surrendering? We have no power. Yeah, there's the fuckers that got us into this mess. Here, what was it? Where was this, Congress literally turned me off. Yeah, the job of the Democratic Party. Here, look at this shit. Axios with back-to-back, fucking anti-Democratic Party bangers. Look at this shit. Jeffries cracked down on Democratic disruption against Trump. And it still happened. Shoutouts to Al Green, again, based as fuck. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries is cracking down on plans among his members to try to disrupt or draw attention away from President Trump's speech to Congress on Tuesday evening. Bro is literally just... He's a lot of things. Some House Democrats are considering attention-grabbing antics. I'm going to be representing my district. This is the kind of shit we need maybe some more of. Like, this on its own isn't enough, but like, great, good. Tell Hakeem Jeffries to go fuck himself, you know? Like, when you're faced with this shit, with Trump going up there being like, it'll be great, it'll be beautiful, it'll be like nothing anybody's ever seen before. We're going to pass the Lake and Riley Act 2. We're going to draft a sequel. They're going to have even less rights than they did before. The economy is going to be even worse. The dollar's going to be even weaker. Everything's going to be worse. You know, when that's the kind of speech material you've got, in addition to him just making shit up, like, you can't just do what this motherfucker says and be like, okay, I'll be quiet and demure and mindful and submissive and breedable. No, you gotta stand up and yell at that fuck, you know? Times like this makes me wish Magneto was real. Yeah, seriously. It could be a sign, it could be a shirt, it could be many things. Yeah, basically, don't do anything meaningful to actually draw attention away from the fascists constructing their narrative to destroy the entire country. Do it in a polite and demure way that doesn't do anything to actually stop them. Pussy shit. Coward shit. Trump's got the mic. He's quick on his feet. Express your resistance, but don't become the story. No, motherfucker. Become the story. Try to, like, he's literally advocating for Democrats to lose on purpose. This is some fucking James Carville shit, where James Carville said, yeah, the Democrats should roll over and play dead and do nothing. No, you need to become the story. That's how the Republicans won. They became the story. They were so good at, like, getting the cameras on. It only took them lying about everything because they have nothing else if they don't lie. But, like, holy shit, dude. You don't even have to lie. Just say some shit that grabs attention. Say, like, yeah, he's a fascist fucking warmongering piece of shit who wants to cast America into another depression. You know? Basically, you got to do what Al Green did. Stand up, refuse to sit down when they tell you to sit down, shout down the fucking president of the United States, and get things to the point where they actually have to tell the sergeant at arms to come in and remove you. That's effective protest. You know? And I only wish that more Democrats did that shit. We need Fred Hampton, not MLK. We need both. I think we should have both. But yeah, I think Fred Hampton was actually in a way more effective than Dr. King. That's what got him killed. He was so effective at political organizing that FBI killed him for it. Plus, it makes you feel cool. Yes, that's important. You get to become the main character. Democrats need to become the main character more, because they're not doing that shit enough. He's got to know that there's significant opposition, but not so significant that we'll be disruptive about it. We're not going to be sycophants, but we're also not going to protest. Dr. King also got killed because of his effectiveness. That is true as well. Take your lessons from Dr. King and Fred Hampton, both of whom were so effective at building a socio-political movement on the populist left wing that they were literally assassinated by the FBI. The Fred Hampton one is confirmed. Dr. King is still alleged. Essentially, you can see these quotes here. We're going to do what we've got to do. We'll make a fuss, but not too much. But we won't be supportive, but we won't be oppositional. He's trying to basically... Hakeem Jeffries is super fucking cucked. This fucker right here. He acts more cucked than Trump, because Trump actually has kind of an ego. But, like... both these guys are cucked to the same set of interests. He's like, this guy is thinking about, as he says this, he's thinking about how to walk this very narrow line where he can placate the interests of their donors and stuff, so the donors will give them more money. You know? He's not thinking about how to actually, like, do effective political change. He's trying to court more Silicon Valley money. Dr. King's been whitewashed. We need someone who doesn't have wiggle room for liberal racism. That might be true. I think I agree. Killmonger is what the FBI wants to turn every communist into. That's true. Yeah, we do need Fred Hampton. Oh no, what a monster. He's giving free school lunches to kids. Damn, that's crazy. Or free school breakfast. That was the thing in Chicago. Other members, here, look. Other members are going with the boycott route, with House Financial Services Committee ranking member, what a fucking mouthful. Okay, Maxine Waters announcing that she plans to skip. Tchaikovsky is doing the same. House Democrats, Senior Chief Deputy Whip. A fucking... That's a lot of, like, prefaces to that title. I can't be there with that man. I want to not even show the respect of showing up. And this, I think, was also a good decision by a lot of Democrats to just not even show up at all. It's not business as usual, but how are you going to express that an event like a State of the Union... Wait, there's no one right away? What? I don't know what this guy is cooking, this House Democrat. Next best thing besides organized protesting? Yeah, because the fascist government does, like...
Were the Republican members who were there. They are in the majority, 200.
Okay. The fascist movement, a fascist government, depends on the aesthetics of overwhelming support, the aesthetics of a mandate. And if you can organize a bunch of politicians to not show up at like a fascist, what's supposed to be like a fascist like political rallying speech in the government, then you can deny them the construction of that narrative. You can build your own counter narrative right in front of them that like, no, actually, they do not have the support of the government. They do not have the support of the people. They're massive cucks. They have no clue what they're doing. They're losers, you know? And that's a super important narrative to build. But Hakeem Jeffries is openly advocating not to build it. Lawmaker said sarcastically of the caucus meeting, you can imagine a room with 214 people. There are a lot of opinions. Everyone's a messaging genius. I don't know what this is meant to imply, but I have a feeling that this is like contemptuous of people who wanted to resist. So I'm just going to say, fuck you and leave it at that. You know? Remember how annoyed Trump got with calling them weird? Yes, oh my God. I will never forgive the Democrats for taking this from us. Because it was them who took this from us. For a few glorious, glorious days, when the Harris-Walz campaign was just taking off, Tim Walz was unchained. The DNC hadn't gotten to him yet. And he came up with this, that the Republicans are fucking weirdos. They ran an ad to this effect. It was one of the best political ads I've ever seen. That had these people as Republicans are all sweaty and gross and all obsessed with your fucking porn usage and whether you should have babies if you're like doing artificial insemination, all sorts of opinions on what the sex lives of random women that they should get to control, I guess. There were a few glorious days where the left actually controlled the discourse on what Republicans were, and the line was, they're fucking weird, abnormal, degenerate pieces of shit who hate women. And it stuck. And it was great. It was a great running line, you know? But the DNC recognized that and got rid of it. The DNC didn't get rid of it because, that's not going to win the election. They got rid of it because it was mean. They got rid of it because it was a winning message, you know? It was an attack on the bedrock of fascism, their perceived normalcy. Proof they're controlled opponents? Yeah. The Democratic politicians their job is to keep the party from doing anything that is even remotely popular, because that usually contradicts the will, and the interests of Silicon Valley and Wall Street and all the really, really rich people that give both political parties a lot of money, right? And if you attack the bedrock of fascism, the psychosexual bedrock of fascism, who are the weirdest fascist sycophants? It's all the Silicon Valley tech bros, all the Elon, the Elon simps, all of those insufferable, have no idea how to function around women, super weird social opinions, really awkward, abnormal, Silicon Valley are the kinds of people who are being insulted by that. You know, the petit, I guess you call them petit bourgeois, like these small business owners and the kinds of people who are like militantly conservative enough to have those openly like weird psychosexual markers just on them at all times. Never see superhero media portray villains as conservatives. Yeah, because superhero media is pretty cucked very frequently. In fact, I think Invincible is one of the less cucked superhero media for openly portraying the superheroes as fascists. I think that's one of the best things about Invincible. You know? But yeah, like the whole Republicans are weird, conservatives are fucking weird attack line, the rhetoric line, was ditched because of how effective it was, and that it was a good rhetorical line. Because if they did that, then Silicon Valley would be like, whoa, hold on now. We don't know how we feel about that. That's a little bit uncivil, you know? And they want the donation money more than they want to win. Bro, they're literally... I didn't even see this part. They're like fucking actually saying, like, the Democratic leadership is actually saying, like, oh, you Twitter lefties just want to ruin everything by going and being vocal opposition to Donald Trump. Bro. You know it's Jover when the leadership is, like, doing the whole, this is somehow the Twitter left's fault. Like, they are cooked. Also, W Twitter left for living in Democratic politicians' head, rent-free. My brain is fried. Yeah, well, so is mine. Look, there is camaraderie in collective suffering. We have suffered together, and I feel that builds a sense of camaraderie between us, or something. The top 10 things I say to justify why I sat through Trump just saying shit for 2 hours and didn't get that much out of it. That's not true. I did get something out of it, which is that, like, he basically said, we're just getting started, baby, in the context of all the tariffs are happening, and, we're going to do more of them. We found out they were going to do more tariffs, and I was just reminded that they're doing this gold card shit, where they're, like, selling American citizenship to, like, foreign members of the owning class. At this point, I'm convinced they have nightmares about the far left. Yeah, I mean, because they're captured by that set of business interests, they fear the far left more than, like, basically anything else, right? Because the far left constitutes a threat to capital. Like, the actual populist left, the people that will be like, you know what, fuck it, Huey Long mode, every man a king, chicken in every pot, I will engage in as much corruption and skullduggery as is necessary to, throw Elon Musk into a volcano in Minecraft, thank you. And like, ensure that every American gets social security checks infinitely for all time or some shit, like wildly popular messaging. They shit themselves because they're the ones that are going to get thrown into the volcano, hypothetically, in Minecraft, in Roblox. Yeah, we live in their heads rent-free. And I do want to highlight, it's good to get some takeaways on what works and what doesn't. This shit does not work. What Jeffries was saying to do does not work. In fact, it was handpicked. It was specifically picked and crafted not to work, Oh, be oppositional, but not too hard. But, don't be sycophants, but don't be too loud and disruptive. And then Al Green went up there. Al Green is going to actually, like, take some attention from this speech because he, like, was so vocal and literally, like, refused to sit down, shouted down Donald Trump to the point that they literally had to bang the gavel and call the sergeant at arms to remove him. People are gonna remember that, especially if he goes and talks about it on the news afterwards. If they keep bringing it up, if they make it part of a narrative, do they want the Night of Long Knives to happen to you? I think the position of the Democrats is they don't actually care that much if the, like, Night of Long Knives happens, because they've convinced themselves that, like, oh, they wouldn't do that. Why? But they wouldn't do that. Anywho. I'm gonna end on Hakeem Jeffries' stupid face because you know, we all need to hate this man. We all need to hate Trump, obviously. We all need to hate Elon Musk, especially. We also need to hate this motherfucker right here, and Nancy Pelosi, and Chuck Schumer. Thank you. Great. Good. Because of the absolute state that they have put the Democratic Party in. As long as America is a two-party system, you know, like there's going to be one of the two parties that's like slightly better or something like that. These fuckers need to go. Whether our future looks like the Democratic Party straight up dissolving, which it might, or whether it looks like progressives taking over the Democratic Party from the inside, which it might, this fucker cannot be allowed to have a career in politics anymore. Because his job is to lose. And that's what he's doing. That's what he's advocating for in this article, you know, before the joint address, the speech. And that's what some Democrats actually decided to specifically buck against him and not do. You know, some Democrats were like, no, actually, I don't want to lose on purpose. I support good things and oppose bad things. Therefore, fuck you, Hakeem Jeffries. That's the longest you ever live stream in a day? No, actually, the RNC live stream was longer. That was a 6-hour long live stream. Longest I've ever streamed is about 6 hours. And that was on top of another 2-hour stream I did earlier in the day. So there was one day in mid 2024 where I live streamed for about collectively 8 hours and spent the rest of the day editing. It was about a it was about a 14-hour day, you know, of me. Like, I got up, I started video editing, I live streamed, I did more video editing, I live streamed, I did more video editing, and then, like, I went to bed. And then I got up the next day and did more video editing. I don't usually work that hard. You know? God, and this is something I'm going to have to work hard to edit as well. Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. There's probably going to be minimal editing on this. I might just put the intro and outro bit and then just upload this as its own fucking segment. Although I'll have to write a description, make a thumbnail and stuff. People will know my YouTube, know how it goes. Is anybody live right now? Yes. I'm back in apolitical now. Thank you, Hassan. Very funny. I'm gonna raise Hassan. See what he has to say about the speech. I do, although know that I don't necessarily encourage watching live streams at such degenerate hours of the night. I know for some people it's probably earlier, but, like, you know, if it's the time that I'm seeing on my clock, which is about 11 o'clock, go to bed. All right, thank you. Good night.